You're in love with that special someone. Consider a lifelong companion. The question is, does that someone love you? You try your best to do things right. You try your best to satisfy. Then you realize your best is never good enough. Whoa, oh, oh. Like you on a treadmill, putting all the effort, giving all the time, but you are just stand still. You ain't moving, on the treadmill. Your legs are moving, your body's working, but you are just stand still. You ain't going nowhere. They should tell you early. They don't want you, they don't need you, or they prefer somebody else. City daddy, you're in love with that special someone. Consider a lifelong companion. The question is, does that someone love you? You try your best to do things right. You try your best to satisfy. Then you realize your best is never good enough. Whoa, oh, oh.
To another episode of Dissect. Of course, I go by the name of Novelist, and I got the crew with me. But tonight we have a special, brand new host joining us, and she goes by the name of Jewel. So let's welcome Jewel to the first episode. Well, her first time on Dissect. What's up?
Hey, hello. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You look happy. You ready?
I'm ready.
Nice. And of course, we have the man, DJ Kaza. Everybody know me as Imon Daru in the building. What up?
How is everybody out there this evening? Especially if you're in Canada, I know it's really warm and nice up here.
Nice. And of course, we have Nika. She's still with us in the back. What's up, Nika? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
And we're waiting for our guest tonight. Our guest tonight, of course, is Tasha P, and she'll be joining us shortly, hopefully, and we could get the show rolling, man. So, Jules, maybe we could, find out a little bit about you quickly.
Hey, am I the one being interviewed tonight?
Of course. Well, we gotta kill some time, right?
the pre-screen before the screen.
Well, what do you want to know about me?
Well, I guess the people would like to know about you. Who's that girl? Where she's from? Who's that Jules? So I guess let's start with where you from?
Do you
Well,
have
I'm a
interviewing
Torontonian.
experience?
Was that?
Do you have interviewing experience?
Oh my gosh. I do. I do. I'm a Torontonian first and foremost. My background is Trini. Um, my parents, my mom's from Grenada, grew up in Trinidad. Dad's from Trinidad. But yes, Kaza, yes, I do have interviewing experience. I do a little podcast and I do like Instagram live, so I have some experience. But I'm here to learn from the two of you tonight.
To learn from Kaza.
Yeah.
To learn from Kaza. Yeah, you got your plug in the thing, plug in the
Like my
thing.
thing, I
Yeah,
do a
plug
lot
in
of
the
things. I
thing.
wear many hats. Wear my hats.
I know you wear many hats. You have the sip and chat.
Sip and chat, sip and chat with Jewel. It's now called Sip Events. So I do events and I do sip and chats with ladies. We talk about different things that we don't want men to know about sometimes.
Mm.
Um, but also I have my own hair and skincare line called Genoa Naturals.
Z-
Um, but yeah, I do a few things. Do a few
Genoa. What does
things.
that mean?
Genoa means I'm black.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
What's
it.
the what's the what's the Instagram page so everybody knows out there how to contact?
Genoa,
Yeah.
it's a JENOIR is NOIR. Genoa.
Okay. Nice.
Genoa, yes, is natural. Sorry. Oh no, what did I say? It's Genoa underscore is natural. Cause you messing me up.
Sorry. I'm
Because
sorry.
I'm
It's
missing through
Genoa,
Mojo.
JENOIR underscore is underscore natural.
All
Yes.
right. That's it.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for Tasha, she showed up earlier, but I guess she's trying to move from one device to the next, and
Mhm.
so the people waiting, just like be a little bit more patience, and I guess we'll be talking to her very shortly. The people in the back is trying to make sure that happens too as well. I know you guys are looking forward to that. Hope everybody had like a nice holiday. Of course, last week we took the time off, so some people could do their you know holiday thing, the New Year's and all that good stuff. So you know, I believe Tasha is in the building now. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and introduce Miss Tasha P.
Good night, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy
Y-
2020.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I am great.
Y-
How's everybody doing?
Everybody is good.
Thank
We're chilling.
you.
You're looking great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice.
Look at that smile.
So, of course, Tasha, you didn't get to meet our host, Jules. Jules, this is Tasha P. Tasha P. Jules.
Hi,
Hi,
Tasha.
Jules. You're
And
very pretty,
Oh,
Jules.
thank you. As are you.
Thank you.
I feel it's gonna be a long night.
Well, you know what I'm excited about? There's two women on here and there's two men. So you know what? I have a lot of things that I'm stirring up tonight.
Even playing ground. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I feel abandoned because there's only one man on the screen.
Oh.
Natasha, what's going on, girl? How you been?
Been good. Been hustling like usual. I mean, it's not as frequent and as consistent as before COVID, the
Right,
pandemic, but doing my best to deal with it as it comes and whatever happens in the meantime.
right, most definitely.
How about you
Yeah,
guys? Everything okay? The show has been doing well.
the show has been doing pretty good.
Are you a fan? Do you
Of course,
watch?
anything Novelist does, I'm a fan.
yeah,
Oh,
trust,
oh,
and
okay,
anything she
Ah.
does, I'm a fan. So the
okay.
love is mutual. The last time I saw you, well, previous to before COVID, out here in the Toronto area. How has that been like with dealing with this whole pandemic situation?
The last time I was in Canada was
The,
3 years ago.
yeah, the year before COVID.
Recent.
2019. That was the last tour with Swinging Stars. That was the last, yeah, the last with the group since, woo, wow.
Yeah.
So we need you
Yes.
back in Toronto ASAP.
Well, I love Toronto actually. I look forward to coming there every time the band travels. I know that's our first stop. So, ooh,
Yeah.
excitement galore. I love Canada.
Hopefully we could get that again in the future. It might be a little bit different, but hopefully we could get it back. And I mean,
Of course, of course. I'm looking forward to that, of course.
of course. So, of course, I gotta officially welcome you to Dissect. Um, I know who you are. You know who I am. But for the record of Dissect, let's go all the way back.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way back.
Okay.
Um, let's start with what inspired music in your
Um,
life.
well, growing up in a household where music was always around everybody, especially my father singing and so on, but just this the music that my mom would listen to, or just being on the bus and my dad playing those old school songs, old school CDs or cassettes back in the day, just listening to people, music, all types of genres, just loving to sing, especially going to church and ministering in singing. Oh my God, music has always been in my blood from the very first day I opened my eyes on this planet. And my mother is the one who revealed that truth to me. It's
Mhm.
been a good portion of my beginning of time when I just came into the world. My
Mhm.
mom said the doctor was hitting my bottom. You know how they hit those babies
The-
so they can cry, get all that
right,
stuff out of the lungs. She said I didn't cry, I sang. I was like,
right. Wow,
really?
wow,
And she always thought to herself that I was destined for something musical. I
right.
would be growing up and doing my own little shows at home for my parents. Disney Channel was the channel. So all the groups that would come on to, they had concerts every Friday or almost like every month.
Hmm.
Every month and they would have a concert on Disney Channel. So I would learn the songs and see me writing my lyrics with writing what I think I'm hearing, eh? Not exactly what it is, because sometimes you don't know. You think you
Right.
hear one thing, and
It's
so
something
writing the
else.
lyrics and teaching my sisters um the lyrics and giving them different parts, and we'd have a whole concert for my father or the neighbors or whoever. We dress alike, just we learn dance moves. I feel I've been blessed and destined for music. It's not something that just came to me one day, something that I was born with, something I grew up knowing that I wanted to pursue more than anything in the entire world.
Right. And I see now that you've been doing it before, but now more that I would say straying away from the calypso, but you add into the how can I say it? You add into your repertoire.
Oh, most definitely. Something that I always wanted to do. I mean, if I have to say, we're going way, way, way back to when growing up, Calypso was not the first genre in my space. It was not I want to sing Calypso kind of a genre.
Right.
I was never excited about it. And I mean, I'm being brutally honest because that's
Hmm.
what I believe in. I believe in honesty. It
Right.
keeps me out of trouble. And even if I do get in trouble, at least the truth was told.
Facts.
So growing up, it was never calypso for me. It wasn't calypso until my younger sister started singing, and I used to do backups for her because I love harmonies. I
Hmm.
love putting those little parts and on stage with her doing it and so on. But never did I think that I would have sung calypso. And then when I was 11 years old in primary school, my um my grade seven teacher at the time, Mrs. Morrow, who's now the principal of the St. Martin Primary School,
Hmm.
along with Mrs. Christian and one other teacher, Mrs. Reed. Oh, Miss Reed. Who everybody have to know about Miss Reed. Because when I would be singing in assembly, little girl singing, making noise, she would say, let the child sing tan. Because that but you can chant it, Papa. God trust me. Um so it was always yeah, when I was 11, they asked me to take part in the Junior Calypso Monarch show. And I was like, Miss Calypso, I don't do sing that.
Right.
And she said, no. You never know, you can try it and maybe you might like it.
Right.
So I decided, okay, yes, miss, no problem. I have to admit at that time the support was null to almost void.
Mm,
on the people, the side where you expect to get the support. Sometimes, I didn't get it then, but
mhm.
my
Right.
teachers were, let me tell you, they knew what I did not know. So they
Right.
decided to ask me to take part. They got me a song from Ian Jackson called Together as One, a song I up till today know every single word. I cannot forget that song. I don't know why. I sang it. I was nervous. I have a video of recording of that. I cannot wait to repost it on my social media platforms. But
Right.
I don't know if it's say embarrassing because it's not really embarrassing because I'm 11 years old. What do you know much about the stage,
Yeah.
and it's your first time and you have all those butterflies in your stomach and so on. Man, it was an experience of a lifetime. I didn't want to sing, and my teachers were, let's go, you could do this. And then my younger sister, who was only 5 at the time, she took part. Oh, that
Right.
made me more nervous because she was brave. She was a brave heart from day one, confidence, spurring. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? And she doing that so easily. And eventually, my turn came at number 15. I mean, the whole night passed and I seen everybody performing. And that made me even more nervous.
All right.
I went on and I took part. I forgot the first two words of my first verse because guess what? There was this cute boy in the crowd that I had a crush on. Oh.
Hmm.
So when he came to the front of it, I was like, okay, oh my God, he's here. And forgot the first two, three words of my verse, but I jumped right into it. And if you see that video, oh my God, you would be very surprised. Very. So that's kind of where the Calypso vibe started for me at 11. But that was
Oh,
the only time I ever took part in the Junior Calypso Monarch. But
okay.
yes,
Yeah.
Nice.
love
So
you too, Alroy Breedy.
we need to see that. We need to see that video. You need to
Oh
put
my
it out there.
God.
It
Yeah,
look
Soon,
at it.
coming soon. I will make sure I post it on my media platforms and share it so you guys can have a look at 11-year-old Tasha. And at the time I was singing Tasha or singing Tasha. Me, I know. I didn't know what what name to give myself then, so I think it was singing Tasha.
yeah. I'm waiting for that video to come up too because I went and I binge watched all of your videos. I was like stalking you.
Are you serious?
But
She's
I'm
doing the
excited to
homework.
see that. But yeah, I did my homework. I definitely did my
Oh,
homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay.
so all that you did not want to sing calypso, and
Mm-mm.
you are now the calypso queen of Dominica, the only calypso queen of Dominica, right? Like in
Only
history,
Calypso female monarch.
female
Monarch.
monarch, right?
There are other queens because usually sometimes we have the female show where only females perform, just
Right.
like in a Stardom 10 or so on, and then a
So,
winner emerges for the females. But then with the big leagues, there's the monarch competition where a female has never won before, and then
oh,
I
okay.
I got that only
In
title.
54 years.
Yes, you did do your homework.
I did do my homework. I told you.
Yes, she's right. Yes,
You see,
54 years.
I feel ashamed, and I didn't even know
Ah,
that.
Yeah.
But
yes.
okay,
Oh, I see another gentleman has joined you, so you don't feel left out again, do you?
yeah, he shows up once in a while when he feels like it. Jacques feel.
Oh, can
You know,
feel massive.
one love, one love. A lot of
One love,
technical
one love.
workings and hopping in and
I know
out,
the
but
vibes.
keeping the vibes going and afloat for sure. Enjoying the conversation for sure. Your story, coming from church, yeah, it's very interesting.
I have a
Remind me,
question.
remind me of my acolyte days for sure.
Came from a wedding, then church, then here, and then I have studio after.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, good, Joe.
Busy, busy. Well, you mentioned that you're the first Calypso female monarch. What is
Yes.
that? I mean, that must be a heavy load for you as a female to be almost like a role model or a voice for the Caribbean on a whole. How does that feel? Like, what does it do for you? Like, how is it feeling for you to hold that title and know that so many young women look up to you, young and old women, any age, they look up to you because you have this title now.
Well, to be honest with you, it's a ball of mixed feelings in regards to that. when it first happened, it was a very bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
Even for the role, playing the role, and then having other people look up to you was having people look down on you. It was
Mm-hmm.
something new, and I know a lot of times, if the world does not know something, they're afraid of it because it's unknown.
Right.
So they kind of have to get to know what it's like. Being the first is hard, and it's good and it's bad. Being
Mm-hmm.
the first means you set a certain trend, you set a pace, you start off the ball rolling, and other people can either do better or they'll like work really hard to get there. But in terms of being a role model and carrying the title, it is both a heavy load and a blessing. I say it's a heavy load because again, being the first means um you have no standard to meet. You have
Mhm.
no pattern to follow. You have no template as to how to be the female monarch of Dominica. You have no guidelines to prove that this is how it was done before, and this is how you could do it now that you are in the position. There's no chain of command. There's no, I think I hope you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
But at the same time, on the contrary, um, you're the first. So you set the pace, you make the rules, you set the guidelines,
Mhm.
you start it off, and everybody else can take it off from there.
The trendsetter.
Right, right. So it's like a Pisces. No, not a Pisces, sorry, a Libra.
A Libra, the
It's the
scale.
way in the
Still.
scale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It has, I think it's 50-50 both ways. It goes, it's good, and it can be bad if you're not strong,
Right.
if you're
Yes.
not if you don't have the proper support system. And I will always be an advocate for support because it goes a long way.
Yeah.
If you get into any position, sometimes it's just that you're maybe the first manager of a business, or first time being a principal of a primary school or high school, first time being in any position, the PM, the president, first time, everything is gonna come to you overwhelmingly. It's gonna come like a big rush in the very beginning. It's a high,
Mm.
a serious, serious high. And
Yeah.
at that time, it was a serious calypso high for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it. I did not see it coming. And then when I received it, I now had to put myself in order, straighten up my jacket collar,
Yep.
and
Mm-hmm.
ensure that whatever it is I was putting out there, that it was something that could be positive and have a good influence over the people who saw me as a role model, or as you said, look up to me,
Yeah.
Dominica, Caribbean wide, or nationally, sorry, regionally, anywhere. So I
Mm-hmm.
just had to band my waist and let's go. That's basically how it was in the very beginning.
So definitely made you a stronger
Mm-hmm.
person at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day.
I believe so, indeed. Trust me, some of the things that I had to go through, some of the statements that were made, some of the articles that were written in the newspaper about me,
Hmm.
whew, I had to have, and I say you can be strong, but if you don't have support or you don't have people there to catch you if you're about to fall,
Yeah.
Yeah.
best you leave those people position for them, please.
And Dominica,
Yeah.
Dominica is not an easy load.
And Dominicans, straight up, they tell you like it is. Imagine
Yep.
being on stage singing, you in
Yep.
finals, and let me tell you, pumped you on stage, you're ready to perform your best, and you're seeing somebody under the stage in front of you doing that.
Eh.
Hmm.
Wow.
It's really crazy. Dominicans they don't have any, they don't put water in their wine. They have
Plain
crazy.
talk,
There
bad
we go.
manners.
They straight
Raw.
up. If it
Yep.
good, they'll tell you it good. If
Yep.
it bad,
Yeah.
they'll tell
Yeah.
you it bad.
Yep.
That's a
Wow.
Dominican. But I love them for it though, because at least you
Of
get the
course.
honesty. You get the
Yeah.
honesty out of it.
You
The
know.
criticism may be harsh, but it's thorough, and it
Right.
also helps with withering out all the old weeds. So you take off all the bad and you make what you have
Hmm.
very, very good if you listen. You just have to listen.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many years were you in Calypso before you actually won the Monarch?
One.
1 year.
So I started in 2010
Mm-hmm.
and I won in 2011.
That's crazy.
So it was
I
my
was.
second year
That is crazy.
Where do you see
And
yourself in the business in the next 5 years from now?
in Calypso.
Hmm.
That no one has ever asked me that question
And
before.
and maybe not just even in calypso. Like, do you see yourself? expanding outside the bound of
Of
say
course, in
singers
this
zoo.
day and age, you can't afford to stay in the same place. Change is a must, growth is a must, development is necessary, and taking risks, I can almost say is necessary as well because as I said in the beginning, I didn't want to sing calypso. When it was brought to my attention, they told me, Tasha, but you should sing calypso. I say, more of the calypso. No, 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 no. I don't think all the story for the calypso thing. I know that is for old people.
Yeah.
And I was 21 years old. So in my head, now man, I don't know what I can do in that. I
Yeah.
straight up. But then thank God for the Swinging Stars band because I had already joined the band that same year, 2009. I joined the band. So
Okay.
they were the ones who kind of
Push it more.
targeted me. No, I wouldn't say target, but they kind of just asked me to try it out. And I said,
Right.
try it. So they say, okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. Try it once. Try it once. I say, boy, okay, why not? I had the support of the band. I had the support of my family. My mother
Mhm.
ensured that I joined that band because, again, everything that's new and big was frightening for me. So it was hard for me to just make the decision to do it. I needed that support,
Right.
that
Yeah.
good positive networking in my background and my family, my mom, my siblings, my very close friends, the Swinging Stars band and the Six Form Sister Singers, which I was a part of for 13 years. They all helped me to build the confidence to try it. And I sang in 2010,
Right.
Little Girl, what is they say is Little Girl in Big Man Thing.
Mm.
And it was crazy. Like when every time I look back at myself performing that first year, I'm like, what were you doing? What was that? But
It-
then every year you just watch yourself, you watch your growth. And then the
yeah.
second year, I think that was maybe the second toughest year. At the time, it was the toughest year of my life. 2011 was rough, 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 rough. All them fellas watching you kotai, people in the
Yeah.
competition all feisty and I don't know, but boy, it was crazy. The negativity was intense, intense. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do this just because I love what I'm doing,
Hmm.
and whatever happens, I'm good. I know I wasn't going to win. That's to me, eh? And
Right.
then I just say, you know what? You're not gonna win. You know you're a female already, and that's the first one. Plus, you're
Right.
young. Leave that alone. You just start singing, leave it alone. I went and I sang, and 3 days before the competition, I actually lost my voice.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
everybody was kind of like, all my fans at the time, they were like on the edge of their seats.
Mm.
It's like, oh
Mm.
my God, last interview, she won the Calypso female, the Calypso queen at Stardom. But when she came to do the radio interview, there was nothing,
Yeah.
Mm.
no
Wow.
hope.
Wow.
So bless her soul, Samantha, Dr. Vlata, who was my chaperone at the time and still
Mhm.
always is, no matter what I do, she's always in the back, just helping me. She gave me a writing pad and a pen, and she told me no more talking till Saturday.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if
Save
anybody speaks to you, write it. You turn moo. You already cannot talk. Leave that alone.
everything.
So that's what I did for 3 days.
Right.
Thursday, Friday into Saturday, no talking. When I had to rehearse, I just had to pretend
Mm.
like lip sync.
Lip sync. Okay.
And on the night, Sammy and I and my mom and my family, we prayed backstage and we said, no matter what happens, we're gonna do our best out there.
Hmm.
Everybody's scared because Tasha has no voice. And
Mhm.
then I walked onto the stage and I just opened my mouth and voice came out.
Wow.
So I think that's one of the reasons I was very emotional for the first song, which was
All right.
Children. But in addition to that, the whole overwhelming feeling, the negative was coming in really heavy. But competition is a a tough thing.
Most definitely.
If you don't have support, as I said,
Yep.
yeah.
So,
That was the grooming process. That was the grooming process to bring you to where you're at right now and where you
Yes,
need to
good.
be. So that's amazing.
so how has the experience with swinging stars been though? Like, you know,
Whew. Swinging Star saved my life. I put it that way.
okay,
I say
what do you mean
saved
by
my
that?
life.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
What do you mean?
at the time when I was asked to join the band, I
Hmm.
was in a little band called Esclave.
Okay, yeah, I remember Esclav. Yes.
right? So that's
Yes.
Pusky and Median, Falcon, sorry,
Yeah.
Coco Killer.
Yeah.
And I was young. Let's just put it that way. I was
Mm.
young. So me not getting the opportunity to sing with Swinging Stars opened my eyes to a whole new world. And it was crazy because it wasn't just about singing anymore. I
Right.
mean, it was singing, but it was growth. It was a love, a family, a set of people, a group of people who came together to play music because they loved it, not because they tried. I mean, obviously, everything is money. You play somewhere, you get paid,
Right.
but it wasn't all about the money, and it wasn't all about the glitz and glams. It helped to the band, the camaraderie, band also helped to shape my perspective because you're young, you're a female, things happen, and you maybe react the wrong way, or maybe your humility is not on par.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, that band helped to shape me. I mean, I joined the band at 20.
Right.
I was 20 when I joined the band, yes, February 22nd. That means my anniversary is coming up soon. So I was young, I was immature, a little naive to a lot of things. And
Right.
I just figured I can sing, but it wasn't all about singing, it was about performance, discipline, humility, um, consideration for the fact that it wasn't just you. So teamwork, learning to work with mature people because they could all be like my parents and grandparents.
Mm.
So at the
Right.
time I was the baby in the band, and as the only female, oh, they took really good care of me. Um, they didn't spoil me, or sorry, they didn't spoil me, and they didn't feed me like with a gold spoon. They were rough when they had to be rough, tough when they had to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, currently one of the band members would say, "But Tasha, when you joined the band, you couldn't even sing."
Right.
So I think what they're trying to say is I could maybe sing and hold my notes and do all my vari,
Right.
but in terms of the voice growing and learning
Mm-hmm.
to be a performer, being an artist, that took some time. It took some nurturing.
Right.
And it took me from that young girl who sang nicely to this young woman who knows how to manage herself on
Yeah.
stage,
Right.
dress well, sing well, know how to entertain, know how to be on stage and off stage, know how to speak to people. It was like a
Mm-hmm.
whole culmination of a lot of things. So it was like a life shaping moment for me in the music industry. So it wasn't just joining the band. It was I gained big brothers and uncles, and uncle being Uncle Phil.
Right.
Everybody was uncle except those that were somewhat my age.
Mm.
So they would kind of say, "So why not calling me Uncle Chester or Uncle Peter?" I say, mm-mm. And being the only female, as I said, yes, they were rough and tough when they had to be, but they protected me. They
Right.
taught me a lot about the music, sorry, industry. They taught me how to deal with certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So again, as a female, you finish performing on stage, and all those guys maybe half drunk, or they just want to come and talk to you or touch you up and whatever. In the beginning, you should have seen this feisty little Meg person. Me, when they coming by you, they want to slap this and touch this.
Mm.
One day, I almost knocked one to the ground for good. He was
Wow.
just passing and he smacked my booty, my butt,
Wow.
and I got pissed. So my hand was already ready to finish him, and I just felt myself move.
Yeah.
The band members, they saw what happened, but again wanted to protect me because if I had hit the man and the man is a lot bigger than me, he maybe would have bust my tail.
Right.
So they had to. That was the first time that happened. So they kind of just pulled me aside and told me how to manage myself when things like that come up, or how
Mm.
to prevent myself from getting into situations like that. So a whole family of big brothers and daddies and grandfathers just cuddling me, but in the most strict way. So it
Right.
wasn't that I could do what I want or I figure I can. No, everything was a learning process. If you did something that the band members thought they didn't think it was good or
Mm-hmm.
a good look for you, they would tell you. If I would dress a certain way and they say, Tasha, not that outfit or something, they really help to curb the personality on stage that you see today.
Right.
They have been playing a major role in my life, and it's been 12 years and will be 13 in a month.
So is that where a lot of the inspiration comes from, where you're in your lyrics and your writing? Because I listened intently to every word that you said in your songs. Is that where a lot of the inspiration comes from? To just
I would
be.
say some of it.
Mhm.
Definitely, definitely. If you've never experienced something, you don't know how to talk about it or how to
Yeah.
feel about it. So joining the band was another aspect of my life that
Hmm.
shaped me and really gave me, like, it just open a gave me insight
Hmm.
to life on a different tangent. So the 616 singers, definitely, because it helped me to be a choral singer, to know my volume, my balance. Just, I wouldn't say train. It's not coaching. It's not vocal coaching, but again, the discipline, the vocal runs and the riffs, and how to sing soft and how to sing loudly, and how to. Auntie Pearl, may her soul continuously be blessed for taking up that mantle and shaping us young female artists and male artists in Dominica. But all of that helped to shape me. So the Six from Sister Singers did their way. The Swinging Stars Band still today is doing the same, helping to shape me
Right.
and curb me, especially when it comes to my lyrics. I almost can say that I didn't really like writing before.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes, I get writer's block a lot. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not inspired. But
Right.
whenever I do feel inspired, the first place I want to come is the studio, which I am in right now. So I come to the studio. It's like my home away from home. It's my comfort place.
Nice.
This place to be. Even if I'm pissed off, or even if I am at my lowest, if I come here, it's like as soon as I open the door, it's like Alice in Wonderland. It just changes. It transforms me and my mind and puts me at peace. And this is the place I love being the most.
It's the best place to be when you're pissed off. Actually, you really all that old energy into like a song or production or
Right.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Excellent. You are right.
Yeah.
And music, I always like to take from different angles. So if I do intend to write something, the band members for sure, Peter, Chester, we come to the studio, we fix it up, we edit it, and then
Right.
we have a production. So it's never really, the band is a family. It's never
Right.
really I did this or you did that. It's
Hmm.
we did this together as a team. And Peter has been the producer and arranger for years, and he's been doing such a great job.
That. Oh, Peter.
You make me laugh.
How is it working with Peter? Forget like not forget about the
Pardon?
band, but let's exclude the band for a minute. How is it working with Peter? Because I know Mr.
Okay.
Peter, and I don't think I would be able to work with Peter, not in a negative way. I don't think we'll be able to get any work done
Why you laugh too
because
much?
Peter would probably have me laughing from the minute we sit down and just waste hours. 'Cause I try
Well,
to do an
Peter is a
interview with
darling.
Peter and
We
I couldn't ask Peter questions. We were just laughing on the radio. So how is it?
I
How
remember
is
that
it?
interview.
You remember that interview? All I could do is laugh around Peter. So
I
how is
think
it
he
working
knows
with
how
him?
to separate business from pleasure.
Right.
He also knows how to calm you, because a lot of people come to the studio, including myself, and maybe they're nervous about their lyrics, or maybe they're not too confident about what they're singing, and or maybe they would come with, some people go through things. We go through things, and then we come with that whole mindset of what we're going through. We at a low place. We
Right.
being um like we have so much on our plate. We have to be overthinking. We stressed out. Now, if you come to this studio, Peter, he would. I don't know how he does it. I think he's natural at it. It's a natural thing for him,
Mhm.
where he would just maybe change the topic and get you to talk about something else, and before you know it, your teeth outside.
Wow.
So he helps to calm you in that regard. So you are right that he will have you laughing,
Yep.
but laughing for a good cause, because then
Yeah.
when you're ready to record, you on par, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He's
Nice.
Very
definitely.
easy to work with. That's maybe the easiest producer I've ever worked in my entire life. And I've worked with a few in Trinidad, a few from Barbados, and other places. And this is the calmest. And not because that's like my big brother from another mother, but to be honest, you come here and you are the best. As soon as you step inside, you are the best. Nobody's
And
better than you. And it's a concept I think he and the band kind of put in my mind. Whenever you reach on stage, stop thinking about everybody else. Think
true.
about what you want to put out there, what kind of performance you want to give, and
Right.
that's your best. So once you step in the studio, novelist, Peter
Mm-hmm.
will make you feel like you're the best. He will tell you what you need to hear, what you need
Nice.
to know. And when you come in front of that mic, you do exactly that. And as I'm talking about him, so he steps into the studio.
We watch
Oh
it.
wow, really? Can we get him to come in for 2 minutes
And
and say
Trinity
hi
is
to
looking
the
at
They
to
you
would
the
to
like
talk
You,
your line.
you want to bring people, you
you
want to bring people on the screen. That's his trouble.
sorry.
the group
Mis-
novelist, they want to see your face. Just
Mr.
for 2 minutes,
Lita.
or maybe a minute. Mr. Later, look, you just
Yes, I.
Yeah. How you doing, sir?
I good man. I good.
Big up
I
yourself.
just running out there. I can't stay to talk now.
All right, yeah, yeah, do your thing, do your thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We have to
all right.
trouble you
All
for a
right.
few seconds.
Mm.
All right. So you mentioned working with producers in like Trinidad.
Yes.
How
Very few opportunities came by whilst I was studying in Trinidad because I studied in Trinidad for 4 years.
right.
And my writer, Gina Later, that's Peter's sister,
Mm-hmm.
she's the one who wrote Children, Justice, but there's so many songs I've sung. I have to try to remember all those songs now. But yeah, so Gina at the time lived in Trinidad as well. So she had a few songs that she had written and she wanted
Mm-hmm.
me to record them before I went back to Dominica. So I have some demos and also for her own personal writing. So I did demos for some other songs for other artists that she wrote for.
Right.
She wrote for. So in that regard, or as a result, I ended up having to go to maybe 2 or 3 studios over there. I only remember one person's name.
Right.
The other two, it wasn't a very long back and forth in the studio. But I remember ZZ from Trinidad. He recorded 1 or 2 of the songs that the band has recently or currently.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to work with ZZ. I got a chance to work with 2 others, and I think they're prominent arrangers and producers because they've worked with other soca artists like Marshall Montano and Patrice and
Mm-hmm.
all of them. So a little opportunity came where I was able to work with them in that regard.
Okay. So Jules, I don't know if you want to go ahead.
Why? Because I have Trini
No,
background.
no,
And
no, no. I just
I
I
love
just figured you
Trinidad.
want to jump in the
My
question.
second mother home country. I love Trinidad. My best friend is Trinidadian.
nice. See, I wanted to know how you were able to come about doing that song with Marshall that night, and apparently you wrote part a little bit of the lyrics for
Just the
that
part I
song.
sang.
Okay, how
Um,
did that come about?
that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I went to UE. I met this guy. Well, I had a friend who knew this guy who was a producer from St. Vincent doing his masters, and he wanted somebody to come and do the demo or the female demo for Destra's part in the song. Come back to me. And at the time when I came to the studio, I thought he already had written everything, and he just wanted me to use. He just wanted to use my voice. But when I came, he didn't have anything for Destra as yet. He just had the male lyrics.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. And I just sat there. I took a piece of paper and a pen, and I started feeling out what the lyrics meant and what he wanted it to mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started writing. And I wrote it. It didn't take us half an hour. No? I wrote it. He didn't like a word. He changed it, and then he said, okay, let's do the demo. So I did the demo, but just before, I have to call my confidants in Dominica and say, this is what's happening. What should I do? So I
Yeah.
called them and they said, you know what? Do the demo like it's your song. You have to do it well. So even if it's just a demo for somebody else, that voice, they will hear. I
Right.
did the demo, I did the backup, everything. And before I knew it, I left Trinidad in December for holidays, Christmas holidays. And by the beginning of January, the song was out. But in the credits, my name wasn't there.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? It's okay. That's cool. Because remember, I'm not home. I'm in Trinidad. That's not really, my space. And I don't want to cause any drama.
Hmm.
Well,
So I
this
just
is
left it alone.
dissect, so we
I
can't get
just,
into the
That
drama.
shouldn't have
Oh, so what?
happened. No, no, no. You should have gotten your accolades.
I didn't. But, young. And again, as I said, I'm not a person who likes conflict. I
Yeah.
prefer not have to deal with the drama people, and I already paced myself to create a very good reputation for myself. So putting yourself in that, then they'll take you to court, then all I don't have that money. I was a student at UE and I just wanted to be a student. So I just let it go. I was like, hey, okay, well, if you don't want me or don't want to give me, that's fine. And that
Wow.
was in 2000 and
17.
no, that's the performance, but the song was Bubble is everything
I'm
you in
trying
shade
to do
tonight.
my, homework done here.
No, the song was written. The song was written in 2014, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2014 or
Okay.
something like that. And I let it go. So I moved on. I lived my life, but I love that song. I love this song for what it was, and I would always listen to it. So when Hurricane Maria happened, um,
Mm,
Dominica lost everything. Everybody was in shambles.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, sad to say, my best friend from Trinidad, Janine Simon, her brother passed away,
Mm.
and I couldn't be in Dominica. I mean, at the time in Dominica, there was nothing to do. There's no light, no water, no nothing. You just
Mhm.
Right.
have to wait. So I found myself in Trinidad to support my best friend because I needed to be there for her.
Hey.
And I got a lot of support from my friends to bring to her. So that was the reason why I ended up in Trinidad around that time in October of 2017. So I stayed with her for about a month. And whilst I was there, they were doing a concert, a Dominica Strong concert to raise funds and to get foods and goods for Dominica
Hmm.
to raise funds. So I said, okay, I got Gina had a friend who was doing a radio program, but it was a live, like a TV show.
Mhm.
And they wanted to interview any Dominicans who came to Trinidad as a result of Maria to get their experience.
Right.
So, fortunately for me, I was in Trinidad. So Gina called me and said, let's go. I know this person who's doing this interview, and she wants to interview any Dominican who is in Trinidad and experienced the hurricane.
Yeah.
So that's why I got my first interview with her name is, oh my God, why am I not remembering her name right now? Her name is Natasha. So I went on the show and we did that. It was very, very emotional for not just me, but all the Dominicans who got the opportunity to give their story.
Right.
And it brought me to a lot of tears. And
Yeah.
while I was giving the story, I saw the cast and crew crying, and it was just so touching.
Hmm.
And then as soon as we were done, she said, you know what? I think I'm going to try to get you to perform with one of the artists as a Dominican representative. I think I was the only Dominican artist in Trinidad at the time, and they wanted to
Right.
put me on stage, somebody to represent Dominica as a result.
Mm.
Yeah.
So she said she was going to try to get me to perform with Kes. Everyone knows Kes the band. Kes is
Right.
a big soca artist, very, very talented.
Mhm.
So, your girl was a little super excited, but I decided not to show my excitement because I figured, she may be just saying that. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
nothing really to have.
Yeah.
But then she asked me for my email. She asked me for some other information about me, where to find me, where I live, etc., etc. When am I
Yeah.
leaving? I gave
Right.
her everything. I didn't hear from her for another week, and I was like,
Mhm.
I forgot about it. It's whatever.
Mm.
Then I got a phone call. I was putting braids at the time. My best friend's cousin was putting braids in my hair, and I I got the call. I was halfway done, and I
Mhm.
have a big head, so it's a lot of hair.
Mm.
So the call said, "Where are you, Miss Peltier?" I said, "Well, I am home braiding my hair." The person said, "Well, you need to get to Queen's Park ASAP, like
Wow.
right now." So I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Yes. Marshall just landed and he's coming for a sound check and a rehearsal, and he would like you to rehearse with him." I said, "What?"
Mm.
And I thought she was joking, and she said, "No,
Okay.
Miss Peltier, get your butt to Queen's Park as soon as you can
Wow.
before 10."
Wow.
So my hair was almost finished. Or was it finished? Almost. Like I just had maybe the little top. So I just tied it,
Mm.
and it was about an hour drive because I was very far. So my best friend's father and her brother-in-law dropped me to the savannah, and
Mhm.
I waited for Marshall for a little while. But I was like, why am I performing with Marshall? Isn't it supposed to be Kes?
Yes.
Right. So,
And
so wait,
then
yeah. Good.
so he came, he called my name. I ran on stage, I rehearsed. I was very nervous, but I
Wow.
had to be professional.
Yeah.
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 And then he told the band the same story I gave you about me writing the verse for Destro, but I did not know that he knew that I wrote that verse because I didn't get any
Oh,
credit for it.
right.
Okay.
But anyways, he did his research too. and found that out and told the band that we're going to do a little piece of that song because we had a whole 20 minutes to perform one of his songs as well as that piece of
Right.
that song. So I rehearsed with him and then I went to stay by the same the journalist I had the interview with about
Mm-hmm.
Maria. So I went to stay by her for the night into the next morning because the show was the next day. Whilst we just arriving into her parking lot area, I'm seeing Marshall and his team coming to her home.
Mhm.
So we had, so you know, I had to run to my room and call who I had to call and say, hello, Ollie Marshall in the room over there. What do I do? Do I go outside too? Do I talk to him? What do we talk about the show? I could
What
feel
to do?
the adrenaline. But then,
Right.
he asked for me and then he wanted to have a conversation. And he said that he was very, very touched by my interview about Hurricane Maria. And he would like to play a piece of it after the editing
Mm.
for the show. And then I'll come onto the stage and we will do a little segment. So I was like, okay, we had tea. And he spoke to me about my whole childhood. Who's my mother? Who's my father? How does
Wow.
Marshall do all of that? Beats me.
So he
So
did
we had
his
a nice conversation.
so he beat Jules to the thing. He did his
No, I
homework.
think Jules beat me tonight. So it was a nice, simple evening. It was very like toned down, and then he
Right.
left. I got up the next morning and then I had to go and look for an outfit. That was my outfit that I wore on that particular night was sponsored by Marshall Montano.
Nice.
Um, like he just wanted to make sure that I had everything that I needed because I didn't travel with clothes to perform or anything like that. So he just sponsored what I was wearing. And then the night came, and let me tell you, drama, because some of the artists before his performance they stayed too long on stage, so
Mm.
he almost could not perform his entire repertoire.
Yeah.
So time to end the show, and I haven't come on as yet. But Marshall said, "Police, please, I know we're supposed to end, but I really, really, really have to do this." And then he played the video on the big screen at the back. And as soon as it was over, he called me on stage. So we only had time to do that little piece of
Yeah.
that song.
Hey, that's what happened.
That's what happened. So he said, "Just come on, let's just do that little piece." I just came on and I just went to the flow because that's not what we practiced. We were supposed to be a song and then that,
Right.
but I just went with the flow.
Of course.
So and
Yeah.
that's not even how we practiced it either. It just kind of happened how it happened.
Well, you're a professional
I
at
like
that
how
point. So.
he mentioned that you wrote that part. That's the only way I knew that you wrote that part is because he mentioned you
It
wrote
was
this
very
part. It's not
scary.
supposed to be someone else. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he have his sources, so he found out and then he just decided,
Right.
what, that's a good opportunity to put that out there. So,
Absolutely.
and then the show ended and he promised a few things. We had a nice conversation and he said, you know what, I'll be in Antigua tomorrow. We want you to perform with us tomorrow in
Right.
Antigua. So they bought me a ticket. I had to leave 2 days before. I had to leave that the day after that to go home. So I just
Mm-hmm.
had to get a new ticket. They changed my ticket. That's crazy. Immediately, I just had to go home, pack my stuff,
Right.
airport. And they
And
called me like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought I could just sleep. And I couldn't sleep. It's just get up, let us go, meet us at the airport. Somebody will be there
right.
to attend to you.
Yeah.
Meet us in Antigua. Boy, it was crazy. And then I
Right.
got to Antigua the night. And then I end up back on stage with him to do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
along with Destra. So she was actually on stage with the two of us. So that was
Nice.
another exciting moment for me.
Nice.
And that's crazy. It was really, really crazy, but exciting. And I felt so proud to be a Dominican, so proud to have had the opportunity, no matter how small it was, to represent for Dominica. It was fabulous to be
Amazing.
in his presence as well as Destra and some other artists backstage.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing for me and a proud moment to be Dominican. I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Nice. I want to ask this, my favorite song. Well, one of my favorite songs, but actually it might be my top Tasha P favorite song.
Which one?
Treadmill. Treadmill.
Oh,
Yo. I
Ooh.
remember, I'll be honest with you, T, when that song came out, there's only two songs I wanted to hear. Enjoy My Life by Soa. Because I mean that is my boy.
Yes, so is everybody boy.
No, I don't know about everybody, right? but Sour is my boy. Like, um, but that song Treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched. Well, I was unfortunately I wasn't in Dominica, so I watched it on the internet.
Right, right, right.
I was very disappointed in the judges' decisions, but that's just my opinion.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, that song. Please, can we talk about that song?
Oh, yes, we
I
can.
thought you were gonna
Um,
ask her to perform it, to do a
ah,
little, give us a little something.
Yeah.
if I do that, you'll not be able to see the whole of me on that computer because I'll be all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
A little solo something, something, just to,
Of
in,
treadmill?
in the comment section, can we get some fire emojis if we want Tasha to give
Right,
us a little something, something on this Saturday
right.
evening? Because
Some,
it's so warm in Canada right now. We just need something
It's so
right.
peaceful.
warm in Canada, right? Yeah,
Mm.
wicked. But so while we wait for the people to put their fire emojis,
Mhm.
yes, let's talk about treadmill because that is my tune. Um, who wrote that song?
Peter later.
Boy, yeah, damn.
How did that song come about?
Uh,
I guess you have to ask Peter that.
Peter he has his moments like he would just be sitting down somewhere and a concept will come to mind.
Right.
Like the concept for He's a Boy was his concept. He had the concept and then he kind of gave it to a writer to finish off for Ian Jackson. But he has a
Okay.
lot of very, very good concepts. And sometimes he, as soon as he thinks of it, he puts it down and he got me, Tasho, come and listen to that. So I'll listen. Sometimes I feel what he writes is not there's a specific person you can tell who can sing whatever the songs are based on
Yeah.
what they are.
Right.
So the very beginning, and I start giving the story about treadmill, is inside the comments are crazy coming in.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yes, I see all the fire. They want it
you,
now,
you'll be
Tasha.
Oh,
singing you'll be singing your way
They
out.
really want you to finish talking. They want you to perform it.
perform. Okay.
Give
Perform.
us the
Oh
story.
gosh.
Give
Sing,
us
just
the
give us a
story.
little.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. You get that job you wanted so badly. Your equipped with education and personality. In the future, you see upward mobility. Dun, dun, early to work and late to leave, doing what it takes to succeed. But promotion is for backbiters and the party supporters. Whoa, you're disappointed, yet still committed. Hoping one day you will get promoted. Here we go, like you on a treadmill,
Treadmill.
putting all the effort, giving all the time, but you have to stand still. You are moving, whoa, on a treadmill. Your legs are moving, your body's working, but you are to stand still. You are going nowhere. They should tell you early. They don't want you. They don't need you, or they prefer somebody else.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
No, you guys have to put the clapping
Yes.
emoji for Tasha P.
Fire, 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 fire.
Nice.
Thank
So let's
you.
get back into our
Welcome.
story.
Yes, so Treadmill was written because Peter came up with the concept about, that song maybe could have had 10 verses. In a lot of different aspects of life, people feel like they're just not moving. Like sometimes you're working in whatever system. I use the government system, for example. Some young people really have the potential to act and to work in certain positions, but because the older folks don't want to retire or maybe don't want to give up their posts and so on, it's preventing growth or movement in the whole chain of command or in the whole organization.
Right.
So just using that as a random example. So a lot of people are deprived of an opportunity to showcase what they can do because the older folks don't want to let go or they don't want to carry on or pass on, sorry, the baton.
Right.
So that's one example. Or like in Calypso, a lot of people talk about Calypso being one of the one of it. I should have written a verse about that, but we just kept it as artists. So
Mm.
it's like a lot of the foreign artists get called in to perform for World Music Festival and so many other shows like Soca Fest and all these other things that we have here in Dominica, and they get paid well, they get the contracts, um, they get boosted, they get promoted, marketed, etc. And the Dominican artists are just kept on the sidelines, and there's no movement for us,
Right.
or no growth, or no movement. Like we're just not going anywhere. You're not going nowhere. So best they tell you you're not good and you're not going to move anywhere instead of just having you there waiting on a treadmill.
Yep.
So because if you think about a treadmill, you're actually not really moving. Yes,
Yeah.
your body, everything is
Yeah.
moving, but you're
But you're
just
not
at
going anywhere.
one
Yeah.
position for the entire time. So
And
Peter came up with the concept, and I was like, I don't know if that song is for me.
right.
And I think if he has to give the story, he'll say Tasha didn't like this song when I get to it. But
Yeah.
sometimes whenever you get a song, it's not exactly the end product. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you get a song and you, as the artist who is chosen or who chooses the song, you
Mhm.
put your own personality into it.
That's
So
true.
Treadmill the melody was very different.
Right.
The lyrics we kind of edited and changed it up. The style of singing it,
Mhm.
yeah, everything I had to put myself. I had to make this song me, make it part of who I am and how I would want to pass that message to people. I
Right.
was very skeptical because it was not the norm of, like, again, as I say, change is a must. And sometimes taking a risk is scary,
Mhm.
but I tried. I
Right.
did it nonetheless. I decided, you know what? Okay, let's go with it. I trust my team, and when they pick this song, I don't fight. Sometimes I fight when I feel I really don't want to sing a song,
Right.
but I like getting their perspective because they on the outside can see what my potential might be with a particular song. So
Fair.
Treadmill, I said, okay, let's give this a try. The first time I sang it, I mixed up the song all over the place. I maybe start 3-4 times because I was so nervous at Stardom. It was
Right.
crazy. Stardom tent, which is the tent that I sing at. But then the feedback was, I don't know, the feedback wasn't good in the very beginning from people. Very few people
Mhm.
had the novelist mindset of how they love the song and they glad I did it and it was good. Some people would tell me, but Tasha P, what is that? That you come in and sing, because I'm usually a lyricist. So I sing songs with meaning and deep. They're
Yeah.
deep and a lot of words. And all my songs have messages and
Mhm.
they're long or they're very detailed. But Treadmill, like He's a Boy and Woman Time and all those other hits, they were not as proper. Proper meaning, like I would say, they shouldn't tell you early they don't want you, they don't need you. But I said they should tell you early they don't want you, they don't need you. I
Yeah.
put the Dominican dialect,
Into the
harsh
song.
as it was,
Right.
in there, and that was what was scaring me, because I was like, oh my god, my fans are going to say how I just dropped from my standards. And it was,
Right.
oh, Peter said, Tasha, relax,
But
try the thing, you never know. And then I tried it, and it just kept doing this every
mhm.
week. Every week it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the demand for it has not paused even today.
Hmm.
So
Well,
it's been, yeah, go ahead.
I'll be honest. Like, well, hence novelist, the name, right? Lyrics.
Yes.
So when I heard treadmill is something. First of all, the title treadmill. I was like, treadmill. Why is she singing about a treadmill? So that alone made me want to hear the song, right?
Yeah.
I listened to it and I was like, very nice concept. You're on a treadmill and you're not going. I actually started smiling when I was listening to the song. I was like, yo. Then I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm like, I can relate to this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a calypsonian, but everybody could relate to this. At work, you working, you don't really want to be at work. You want to be rich. You want to be living your own life. You're not going anywhere. It's the same paycheck that pays the same bill. So,
Every month.
right. So when I heard it, and I'll tell you the first thing that I said after watching the finals, I go, they're not listening to that song. They're not listening to that song because the lyrics in that song, man, that everybody could relate to the song. And that's why I love that song so much. So in my opinion, you won the crown twice.
Ooh, that night was nerve-wracking.
I
Oh,
could imagine.
I
Wow.
think they're hearing the rhythm and they're seeing the movement and they're saying it's not calypso, it's more of a, maybe it's closer to a soca type of
Right.
thing, you know, and like you said, it wasn't something that they were used to.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Sometimes they have to come out of that box
Of
and
Yeah.
course.
move forward.
Of
Sometimes
course.
and that's what sometimes makes the music stay stagnant and doesn't grow because they just want to stay the same way. They don't want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, agreed. And I mean, you have people who have one hit wonders, and that one song they write for their entire lives.
Yep.
And then you figure, boy, what else could I possibly write that could actually make a hit, or like people who want to listen to years after I've sung it. And Treadmill, I think, has broken the barrier. Right after Children, Let the Children Be Children. That's my biggest song
That's
ever.
that's a big
And
tune.
then Woman Time. Oh, that has been and still is an anthem today.
Mm-hmm.
And now Treadmill, like I mean, those songs I think people remember the most and the best. Um, it's really crazy. Anywhere I would go to perform, that song has been requested. So for 2 years, that song has been. Whew, I actually just performed it a couple of days ago at a graduation. It was a special request.
Right.
And it is a song to get you off your feet.
Yep.
Yes, you listen and you get the lyrics. You can write a verse about your life alone in Treadmill. It didn't segregate or stereotype. It spoke about everybody and every single person I am sure in this world has a treadmill experience in their life.
Of course.
So it could be a relationship that's just bad and you just in it, and you don't want to get out of it. Where's the growth? Aren't you gonna get married? Aren't you gonna get out of that bad relationship and find something new? Or you so accustomed with this being your norm that you're going to accept it. So Treadmill, I think, spoke numbers and spoke values to a lot of people. And I think it meant a lot to me. That's one of the things I love about having to choose songs or pick songs or sing songs. I believe if I'm gonna pick a song, especially in calypso, because as you know, it's a competition. I want it to be something that has a meaning, it has a value, and I can relate. Most of my songs, if not all, I can relate. And that's the beauty about me being able to choose songs, because I always get some insight, or I always put myself in the song, make it a part of me. And that's what I think one of my strengths. That's one of my strengths. I have to be one with my music. I perform it a lot better. My confidence is different.
Mm-hmm.
The way people see me when I perform is different as well. So I think if you know me very well, or if you're a person who follows Tasha P, you can know when Tasha P doesn't like a song.
Mm-hmm.
It's those little details that make you know that people are really watching
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
I mean, I never thought I'd ever be Tasha P. I always knew Tasha P. Little girl in school being called Tasha P because there were always two Tashas in my class. So there was a Tasha
Okay.
M and a Tasha P.
Okay.
Let me
That's
Yes.
ask
nice.
you, despite everything going on right now with the pandemic, and so you think North America will see you on tour anytime soon?
Well, I actually just came from Texas about 2 weeks ago.
Mm,
I had to go to perform for the Dominica Houston Association.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a great experience being able to perform in Texas for the very first time and getting to feel um, the audience. I would say the audience because before I went to do the performance, there were special requests from the people who wanted to attend the event. So I did my best to do that. And it was around Christmas time, just before the week before Christmas. So I
Mm-hmm.
got to incorporate some other genres in there too. It was a good experience.
Nice.
nice,
I was
nice.
wondering where you were when I saw that escalator.
Oh no, that's I've just been posting a lot of throwbacks. So everything so
Oh,
far has been a throwback, unless if that's why I try to put the years and the dates at the bottom when I'm labeling the videos.
oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, um, I don't know if we have anything from Facebook that you guys may want to ask before we let go, Miss.
Yeah, I
No,
saw a lot of comments coming in, but I couldn't
I
zero
know,
in on them because they were coming in
I
like
know.
crazy.
All people supposed to be checking that. I don't know if they're doing that. So, so I'm asking.
Um,
Uh,
how can we follow you? How can the viewers that have never followed you or don't know how to find you, how can we find you, Tasha P?
Well, I have a Facebook page. I have a personal Facebook page. I also have a Tasha P Facebook page. I also host karaoke with Tasha P. It's been a virtual thing recently, but I've been doing it for about 3 years now. I also have that page, Karaoke with Tasha P. If I also have an Instagram page, so you can check out my Instagram. Where else? So many different social media platforms. I'm on TikTok.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I've been trying the new trends because you don't want it, the world to leave you behind. You have to kind of
Right.
just catch up.
Right.
No,
Stay
and then even if
relevant.
I'm not on it every single day because I do work 8 to 4, I try my best to keep adding stuff and try new things and keep doing things to put out there.
Right.
So I'm definitely be looking forward to posting that video for you guys to see. Lord, I
Yeah.
don't even know if I want
I think we want to see that.
myself,
So
but
will
yeah.
say Toronto and New York are waiting your arrival, boy.
Well, you never know. Maybe Atasha and Peter can come and give you guys a little show
that
because it's
that
something
would
that we
be
do on the
blessed.
side.
A
And
That
so
liquor
would be
show.
as band, we've been waiting to travel. I mean, I don't want to say waiting to travel like we're missing or dying
Yeah,
to travel, but
right.
we haven't
understood you.
traveled in a few years, and I think
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
looking forward to our next tour. And Canada, hopefully Toronto being one of our stops.
Well, DJ
Yeah.
Kaza can open for you, you know.
DJ whom?
DJ Kaza, I wear multiple hats, you know. I can open for
Oh,
you.
you're DJ.
All kind of things behind the scenes, you know.
Oh,
Well, as
sorry.
long as I get to meet Jules,
Yeah.
I'm good. Am I gonna meet Jules when I come?
Of course, she's right around the corner, so don't
I'm
worry.
right around the corner.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's right around the
Yeah, would
corner.
love to meet you as well. There's a question here. Are you participating in any calypso competitions this year, virtually?
Well, as you all know, the pandemic has prevented us from doing any kind of large show of any magnitude. There's a protocol for everything in terms of how many people can show up and so on. So we did the virtual Calypso show last year, and I think we're going to try to do it again this year. And
Mm.
yes, I will be performing. I don't know if I missed it,
And
but
and we're looking forward to that. Definitely.
another there's another question coming
Yeah.
up right at the
Who
bottom.
wrote your first song in 2020?
My first song, there was only last year, there was 2020.
2020.
As Treadmill and All Hands on Deck. That's
Mm.
my first song was Treadmill. Peter later. Yeah, you missed that question. Peter, we spoke about that for a little while.
All right. So
Yes.
last question before we go, or last statement, however you want to take it. The karaoke with Tasha P. How long you
Oh,
been doing that? Because you've been doing that for a while now.
3 years.
3 years, and that's been going nice every.
Every Thursday. Well, there's the ins and outs because in the beginning when the pandemic just started, we did it every Thursday in your own space, in your own place. And
Right.
then Dominica opened up again just before we had that second surge. And I was back out in different restaurants and bars and parties and weddings, etc., doing it all over the country. And
Mhm.
then we had to stop again. So it's back being virtually done now. I'm actually still doing it from home, but I'm
Right.
using a new platform now. So, well, I'm still using my WhatsApp status, but I'm more or less doing something similar to what you guys are doing now,
Mhm.
but on Google Meet.
Right.
And we actually have people performing live in their spaces or sending videos still, and we play it in between a nice little rapport
Right.
happening during the every Thursday. But again, there was a little pause for the Christmas season. So hopefully we
Right.
can jump right back into that. But we're not sure what's really going on for now. But every Thursday, the Thursday is our signature nights to do
Right.
it.
Most definitely. So you guys
Navi, were
definitely.
you dropping a hint for me because you saw my karaoke video or
You
Well,
have a karaoke video.
well, yeah. I mean, hey,
I
you know what?
cannot sing,
I will leave
so
that with
I
you, and
can't
you and
sing.
Tasha will do with that.
So Jules, we'll talk. We'll talk.
So, Tasha, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, man. Like, this was big. I learned a few things I didn't know before. I thought I knew all, but I learned a few things. So thank you for joining us, and I hope we could do this again in the future.
Of course. No problem. Anytime. It's my pleasure getting to see some new faces and getting to be asked a lot of questions. That's fine. And also getting to know that some people out of Dominica knows more about me than some people from Dominica.
Huh?
I just happen to do my research. I'm good at doing research.
I think somebody's at my door.
Oh, you're trying to escape now, aren't you? Yeah, but it's my pleasure. I don't mind doing these things because it's always good to sometimes know the artist behind the scenes as
Of
opposed to
course.
just the person you see on stage. You could relate better and you could understand more about certain parts, of
Thanks.
how they are, how they are, and who they are.
Facts. All right, guys, that's Miss Tasha P, the only queen of Dominica fast road match and Monarch and all that stuff goes. So thank you for joining us. Well, we'll see you guys. Well, I gotta say thanks to Jules, and it was nice. You know what, Jules? Let me ask you a question. How you felt tonight? You good? You
I felt pumped, energetic. I'm so glad that I got to do this episode. And I'm looking forward to doing more. And Tasha was a great, great person to interview. So
of course.
I had fun.
Yeah, Tasha has great energy. So, Kaza, next week we do the same thing again.
Yeah, man. My apologies. I really enjoyed that interview. So good night, folks, from Dissect. I was really enamored by the conversation, so forgive me in doing so many things behind the scene. But we really hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. And thanks for the support. Hope you guys subscribe on YouTube. You can find us on the Island Therapy as the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Joe's channel. Don't forget to support Tasha P.
Mhm.
2022.
And
Do it properly.
and next week we keep it calypso. We bring a former king.
Yes,
Alright.
yes. We have Hunter. We have Hunter on deck.
Yes, sir. So we will see you guys next week, Saturday, right back here, TDN TV, Islands Therapy on YouTube. Follow TDN TV, and of course, Jules got her stuff coming back, and it's coming back soon, right, Jules? You're
My
gonna be
podcast?
your podcast.
Soon. Soon. I mean, I have you guys now, so I can figure
All right.
that out.
All right. So we'll see you guys next week, right here. All right. You guys have a blessed week, blessed weekend. Godspeed.
Dan Shorty production. Yeah, King Tapper. Hey, there must be a better way. Got to be a better way. There gotta be, got to be a better way. Yeah. His favorite words is I'm sorry, baby, I'll never do it again. But over and over and over, it's the same thing again. You put makeup on, yeah, to cover your scars. I can see in your eyes, you're dying slowly. Get someone to treat you like a good woman, who will hold you on a pedestal, who praises you for all the good you do. Don't allow him to have you looking blue, hurt you so bad the kids can't look at you. Find strength in God, cause I know he loves you. Now it's time to move on. You've been in this for too long. All the hate and the scorn have left you tired and worn. You work more than he says. Why don't you see it? This life is no life. Why don't you leave it? Hey, get someone to treat you like a good woman, who will hold you on a pedestal, who praises you for all the good you do. Don't allow him to have you looking low, hurt you so bad the kids can't look at you. Find strength in God, cause I know he loves you. Threatened by your potential, he takes it out with his fist. The wound may heal at times, but it's eating out your soul. He may try to persecute you, show him death is not your fate. Back your backs, baby, it's never too late. Get someone to treat you like a good woman, who will hold you on a pedestal, who praises you for all the good you do. Don't allow him to have you looking blue, hurt you so bad the kids can't look at you. Find strength in God, cause I know he loves you. You said he only smacked you once, next time he gonna kick you. Physical violence, sexually abuse you. This is your time to overcome the trials in your life. It's now or never. It's time to break the cycle. Get someone to treat you like a good woman, who will hold you on a pedestal, who praises you for all the good you do. Don't allow him to have you looking blue, hurt you so bad the kids can't look at you. Find strength in God, cause I know he loves you. His favorite words is I'm sorry, baby, I'll never do it again. But over and over and over, it's the same thing again. You put makeup on, yeah, to cover your scars. I can see it in your eyes, you're dying slowly. I don't know, it's King Tapper. Domestic violence is a serious threat for many people. Know the signs of an abusive relationship and how to leave the dangerous situation. And remember, King Tapper says so. And that's it. You see, I'm out. Dan Shorty production.
Welcome again to another episode of ECCB Connects. Dcash, the digital version of the EC dollar, is a safer, faster, cheaper way to pay for goods and services across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. On today's episode, we discuss the benefits that Dcash offers business owners. We also speak about the upcoming launch in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and what the people of SVG can look forward to with the rollout of Dcash. Stay connected. We'll share more with you after the break.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is rolling out Dcash, the next step in the evolution of the EC dollar. Use Dcash to send and receive money to and from friends and family. Make payments directly from your smart device. Make payments from wherever you are. Download the app from the Google Play or Apple Store and sign up, or visit dcashec.com for more information. The future of the EC dollar is digital. Let's make history together.
The Dcash ecosystem is made up of a number of partners, of which merchants or business owners are key. We sat down with Sybil Welch, member of the Dcash project team, where she explained the benefits of Dcash for these business owners. Now, Sybil, Dcash has been in circulation for a few months now across the pilot countries, and we know a key part of the Dcash ecosystem are the merchants, those businesses who accept and offer Dcash as a payment option. Talk to us about what the Dcash merchant landscape looks like at this point.
Well, Karina, we're in 4 countries currently, 2 in the Leewards and 2 in the Windwards. So that's Antigua and Barbuda and St. Kitts and Nevis, and Grenada and St. Lucia. And we have around 90 merchants, and they're important because we need to make sure that we have places where consumers can spend Dcash. And so what we are focusing now is expanding that base so that we can have an ecosystem that is dynamic and vibrant. And so we really are pleased to have these merchants who have been the first movers in this Dcash journey, and we're looking to expand even more.
Now, if I'm a merchant, I'm a business owner, I already have a few options, where I can accept payments. I have my cash, I have cards that I can accept from my customers. What's the benefit specifically of using Dcash for my business?
Dcash provides a faster, cheaper, safer way to make EC payments and transfers. And so this is a win-win for both the merchant and for the consumer. For the merchant, we want to talk about first, there's no minimum balance. And that's important because, sometimes, Karina, we go into stores and you see the big sign, cards accepted, but you must have $25 or more for that expense. And that is because there's a cost for that card payment infrastructure that is borne by the merchant. And so they're trying to make sure that they can break even at least on the sale. So you cannot really make a card payment for a small transaction. With Dcash, we have no minimum transaction. So for merchants who have very small margins, who really want to be part of the e-commerce, the part of the electronic payments, here is where we provide a very affordable. Now, when I say affordable, let us make sure that we're talking about a pilot, and so it's going to be affordable for the pilot. There's no cost at all, but it's also going to be affordable post-pilot. So even when we have a cost for the merchant, it will be such that it is far below what commonly obtains in the market for alternatives. Now, it is also very, as we say, faster. That's one of our value propositions. The speed of when one can get settlement is important because a merchant now can immediately use those funds and spend again. They can buy new material to stock up. And so the way that the money circulates and the speed of getting settlement is a benefit for the merchant. They don't have to take out a loan. They don't have to do an overdraft. That is a win-win. And then the issue of not having to deal with cash. So many times, merchants have their staff or themselves staying behind to count out cash. They're out by $10. They spend 2 hours trying to find their $10. The Dcash is electronic. So it's digital. Let's use the words. It's digital. So there is no time wastage to chase $10. And if time is money, the way that we can cut back on time means the way that we can save money. That hits at the bottom line of the merchant in a positive way. And then there's so many opportunities now when you have digital payments, merchants can think about, listen, what new business opportunities, what new niche customer offerings can I offer? And not only to have to stay within country, now I can think about offering, because did I say that you can just send payments over to another country in the Eastern Caribbean currency union and the same time factor obtains? So 5 seconds or less, I send to you in a different country or within country, and the funds are received. And the beauty about it is that you see that transaction recorded in the app on your smart device, be that a phone or a tablet. And so there's no need to have to do any going elsewhere to find out how much money I have or waiting until at the end of the day. It is there in the transaction history. That's a win-win. There's so many persons, so many merchants, so many small businesses that don't have access to an electronic payment platform. They have to deal with cash. And when they get all of the cash, they have to walk around with it. So take the farmer, take the fisherman, take the vendor, the hair braider, the person who's doing the barber shop. There is a sort of a safety issue in walking around with so much physical cash. This is not anything that you're going to have to walk around with. And let me make sure persons understand, there's no money on the phone or the smart device that you're using. It is just a means to effect and receive payment. Right. Similar to when one logs onto an online banking through their mobile phone, there's no money on their phone. So the beauty of it, if I misplace my phone, my money is secure and safe. All I have to do is give my credentials to reset my password, and boom, I'm back in with my Dcash safe and secure. It's a real win-win for merchants. And so what we invite merchants to do is really come on board and enjoy, immerse yourself in the Dcash experience.
Sybil, now you touched on the fact that using Dcash, there's no minimum amount that you would have to spend, like with a card payment, for example. And that's very important for those merchants, those smaller business owners who might have this challenge to overcome.
Yes, and that's one of the areas or one of the value propositions. That's what we are targeting when we launch Dcash, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. It's the financial inclusion. We want everyone to have access to technology, not just for those who have a lot of money to build an infrastructure or to pay for an infrastructure. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is providing this infrastructure for all persons to come on board, regardless of the funds that they have available. And so what happened is for financial inclusion, small merchants, micro merchants can leverage this platform to really expand their customer base. Because sometimes customers are looking for convenience. They're looking not to have to say, I don't have cash on me. You know, sometimes you see a small merchant and you say, I don't have cash. Well, what the small merchant should do is pull out their Dcash and say, I have the Dcash app. Come and spend. And so that's what part of what we are building out in terms of opportunities and access, affordability, and inclusion. That's the Dcash way.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the next ECCB member country in which Dcash will be launched. What do the people of SVG have to look forward to with the rollout of Dcash? Member of the Dcash project team, Kachiria Charles, speaks more about this.
With the launch of Dcash in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we already recognize that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is very cash intensive. A lot of their transaction and payment activity is done using cash. And because a lot of the merchants do not have electronic means like cards, facilities to facilitate other types of payments other than cash. So with rolling out Dcash in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are giving them an alternative so that they do not have to walk around with all this cash in their pockets, and we're giving them a safer, cheaper, faster way of making payments. We do know also of the peculiar situation with the volcanic eruptions and persons in the diaspora within the region, the ECCU wanting to assist Vincentians with aid in terms of monetary aid, and so we are giving them also an opportunity to receive money from their friends and families within the ECCU via their smartphone. They can now use that funds on their smartphone to even cash out if they want the physical cash, or they can use that money to purchase their daily basic needs and wants.
Now you spoke about Dcash being a way for persons outside of SVG to assist with the recovery efforts. Give us an example of how that would work.
So if I am in St. Lucia, St. Lucia is one of our pilot countries. We have St. Lucia, Antigua, Grenada, and St. Kitts and Nevis. So currently, when we launch in St. Vincent, any person from those 4 countries can send money via our blockchain technology to persons who would have downloaded their wallets in St. Vincent and have an active wallet. So they will send the money to their wallets, and instantly they can access the funds on their wallet in St. Vincent to conduct their business in whichever form they wish to.
You spoke about cashing out if someone receives Dcash. Explain what that is.
So the cashing out process is that we recognize that you could have the cash, but you might still have a need for physical cash because you might go down to the market shop and they are not accepting the cash for whatever reason. So I still need to purchase what I need to purchase. So I need cash. Dcash is an alternative to physical cash, so I should still be able to exchange. And this is what we are offering you, an opportunity to exchange the cash for physical cash. And so we are setting up agencies, we are approving agents or businesses within St. Vincent and the Grenadines so that they're able to facilitate this exchange. So you take your Dcash wallet, you're going to be transferring some of your Dcash on your wallet to their wallet, and they in turn are going to give you physical cash so you can use to make your purchases that requires physical cash.
So not only can you use Dcash from between Dcash users, but if there's a situation where you can't actually spend Dcash, you can convert that digital currency to physical ECCash and spend in that way.
Yes, and the great thing about it, it's a one-to-one. So 1 Dcash is equal to 1 EC dollar. So there's no charge. They're not going to be able to deduct anything from your money. Whatever Dcash you have, you should get the equivalent in physical cash.
Now, for those persons in SVG specifically who are hearing about Dcash for the first time, just give us a brief overview of how they could sign up to use Dcash.
In terms of using the Dcash system, you have two choices. You can download the app via your Apple Store or your Android Play Store on your mobile device, your smartphone or your tablet. Then you would register via your phone. It will instruct you how to register via your phone, and that application will go to one of our agencies who would review your application, ensure that you meet all our criteria, and they would approve or get back to you if they need further information. Ultimately, you will be approved, and once you're approved, you can begin to use your wallet. Alternatively, you can also get a wallet from your commercial bank, one of the participating commercial banks within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who would receive your application, and they would also review it and approve you, and you will transact your business via your phone, your mobile device. The financial institutions that we are working with in St. Vincent and the Grenadines include RBTT St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, General Employees Cooperative Credit Union, St. Vincent Teachers Union Credit Union, we have St. Vincent Cooperative Bank Limited. Those are the financial institutions that we are currently working with in the pilot. We are hoping to get others on board, and we will make those announcements as they happen.
Now, for more information, if persons wanted to get up to speed with the latest that's happening in Dcash, and specifically the launch of in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, how would they obtain that information?
Information is available on our Dcash website, which is www.dcashec.com. That's www.dcashec.com. We have lots of information on there, including frequently asked questions and answers. We have videos from past experience in our countries that we have launched to date. We have information on the merchants, the agents, who they are, what they do. We have a load of information on our website, and also do not forget that we have our ECCB Connect and YouTube, Facebook pages, and those can give you lots of information also on Dcash. And of course, feel free to contact any one of us at the ECCB, and we have our agency offices in the different countries. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is located at French's Gate, headed by Mrs. Elrita Miguel.
RBTT St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one of the financial institutions who will be offering Dcash to their customers. Vonetta Rogers, country manager of RBTT SVG, shares why they chose to be part of the Dcash project.
First National Bank St. Lucia would have launched Dcash on the 31st of March 2021. And RBTT saw this as a great initiative for persons to receive and send cash in a faster manner. At the initial point when we were having discussions with ECCB, this was at the point where we were in the height of the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano, and persons were receiving funds from across the region. And we saw this as an opportunity to make the transaction easier, simpler, and faster for our clients. So that's why we choose to be on board. We also look at the benefits and the features of the Dcash product. And we saw it as a great initiative coming out of ECCB, and we chose to be a part of it. Dcash is simple, it is safe, it's fast, and it's reliable. I've actually seen the app itself work, and persons receive funds in a matter of seconds. It's actually hassle-free. So persons receiving funds till now as a result of the La Soufrière volcano can take Dcash as a reliable source of receiving those funds. Now, when you look at Dcash, you do a peer-to-peer transfer, or you want to buy goods and services within the region, Dcash comes in as a great benefit where this is concerned. It comes as a cheaper means because there's no charge in terms of transferring the funds, and they receive the funds within a matter of seconds. So the preparation would be one in terms of our technology, getting the technology side of it sorted, having all the platforms in place, and two, the training of the staff that has also been sorted, and we up and ready to go. The training, having staff interface with the product, the app, the sites that we're going to use, getting familiar with it. That was a pretty easy part of it. And the staff were actually excited. There wasn't much that we needed to change in terms of the operation side, because the Dcash itself it's an app. So there really isn't much in terms of spending that a financial institution would need to do to get ready for Dcash. So RBTT role would be one of the financial institution side. So we actually onboarding client-based customers. So we're doing customers, consumers, as well as merchants. So we onboarding clients who actually have accounts with us. So you can either have a savings or checking account. Once the client is 18 years or older, then they can sign up for Dcash. I just want to encourage all persons out there to sign up for Dcash. It's safe, it's easy, it's fast, and it's simple to use. You can just go online or contact the financial institution, contact RBTT. Our staff are ready and able to help with the process, quite knowledgeable about the Dcash product as well. So we encouraging each and everyone to be a part of this opportunity of Dcash. Dcash is easy, it's fast, it's safe for everyone to use.
We've come to the end of this week's episode of ECCB Connects. For more information about Dcash, the digital version of your EC dollar, visit www.dcashec.com or download the app from the Google or Apple Play stores. Thanks for watching, and join us next week when we bring you the final episode of Season 16 of ECCB Connects.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Dissect. Of course, I go by the name of Novelist. And my co-host in the building, the man Iman Daru, also known as Kaza. Nike will not be joining us this evening. Of course, she's celebrating a birthday, so happy birthday, reaching out to Nike. But we have two special people in the building with us. The man, Mr. Daly, and of course, the man, Earlson Matthew. Good evening, gentlemen. What's going on?
Yes, what's up?
Not
Everything
much.
good,
No,
everything nice. Been a while.
been a very, very long
A
time.
long time, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, let's start with the name. Let's go back into Mr. Littleman for a minute. And
On my chest, I got first thing.
yes, just like the first name. So
Yeah.
tell us the name Littleman, where it come from.
Okay, that name originated in Cadenfield, I should say. Growing up in the community, small in stature, so neighbors, people like Billy Goat, people like Keeney, Bright. I mean, who know them, but that was their name for me. That's how they referred to me because I was a small guy.
Right.
Small as in stature overall. Um, in music, it came from rap. I was at an event that we had in Shipwreck,
Right.
where a couple of issues on stage. Pelham probably losing patience with Pelham and Ra came behind me and said, "We don't play the keyboard because man, and just make a whole joke out of it," and it just stuck. So that only comes from me. And the worst thing to do is not like a nickname. So,
Yeah.
Sure. That will
so
follow.
I just accept it and let it be. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So the name Early Willie, I think that's more a personal thing between you and Delhi.
Yeah, they probably call me that the most. Yeah. That started off as I think it was a MSN name I had or something like that. You only saw MSN Messenger, right?
Okay, yeah. Jeez.
I think I had that as my sign-on thing for MSN Messenger, and then that stuff.
And then just think again. Another name not to avoid.
My reason for calling him Early Willie is because this guy is always early.
So you're not on time, he's always early.
Always early.
Yeah.
Nice.
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 So, what got you guys into music? And you know what? Before you answer that, before you answer that, how far do you guys go back? You and Delhi.
Both. I'm 9 days older than Nelly.
Oh wow!
So I saw when he was born. 9 days, and come out crying, and all
like
that.
a baby, like a big
And
baby.
up to today. That's all. So I saw when he was born. Yeah. So we from birth, and then growing up, same community,
Right.
same primary school, and the bond just stayed. And we had the same interest in music growing up, so everything just stayed. All it was. Then the whole RSB movement. It's us that used to stand up in the banners and watch them till we get all the chance to do what we could. They saw the passion that we had and encouraged us, and it just grew step by step from there.
Right. Yeah, we heard a lot of we had RSB on here sometime last year, and they were telling us, and I was like, what? Like when did this man start? Right. So that explains to me a lot of the stuff we heard in CK. Like when you came into CK, the type of sound you brought in, that explained everything when they said that. So I take it you guys been on this journey together, you and Delhi.
Yeah.
Right. And Delhi, well, I know you was playing drums. Was that your first love, your first instrument?
First and foremost, I want to greet my fans who be listening and watching. I will big up to them and everyone in the diaspora, we return to New York, Miami, England, and first Dominicans. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Well, yes, my brother, to answer that question, drums is my passion. That's where I have my groove. That's where my heart is from the drums. And being with man like Earlson and Elijah, Jashak, we had an opportunity to use real instruments. So from living RSB band house where we used to play in certain things when RSB moved out on tour, we would be at the back by Hurricane in the band house there, and I used to have my real acoustic drums. So you know that brought me closer to it. And I don't know if it's the African thing. I love the drums.
Right.
So yeah, that's my passion. That's where my groove is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you two. Throughout the interviews we've done here in the past, right?
Yeah.
Even Cornell, as we just did lately, we had a little bit more formal training in the music. Would you all say you were self-taught, especially you, Deli or Ilson, when it comes to learning the drums or the keyboard, or even producing when it comes to yourself, Ilson? Would you say a lot of things were self-taught, or you picked up and you had to go to school after a while?
Well, for me, most of it was self-taught until I met the big guys, the big guns, which is WCK.
Okay.
And I had to take a course at Lloyd.
Yeah,
Lloyd,
Lloyd.
that's up in
John Baptist.
Lloyd John Baptist. That's up in Goodwill. Yeah, he has a small school there and taught me some basic little things. And most of it I was already there because I was already playing drums.
Right.
And with the people around me with their knowledge, they would always tell me, it's not like this, it's like that, it's not like that, it's like this. So you know, yeah.
Yeah, for me, there had to be formal training because I gave this story already. My parents wouldn't buy me the keyboard if I didn't take the class.
Okay.
Something that would frustrate me, and I would just put it down after I make them spend the money.
Right.
So I had to do some formal training. I did a lot of functional classes. So up to very late, it was strictly functional. So I went through teachers like Mrs. Huguette Sentile was my first teacher.
Okay.
I went through Julius George, the late Gabriel Dalrymple. Armstrong was one of my teachers. All of that was functional. And then at some point, I started to take the theory a little more seriously. So I did music theory up to grade 6, I think, with Amanda Lawrence.
Right. Nice. So after schooling, I take it that's when Raw Rhythm came on, or was there a venture before the whole Raw Rhythm thing?
I wouldn't say after school. I was still in college when Raw Rhythm started.
Okay.
But then the music was always present. So even during high school days, RSD was there. Then we saw, like Deli said, we used to be by Elijah doing our thing.
Right.
They had a little band, rock band, that we kind of invaded because it was more of a high school kind of band.
Right.
With Craig Bellot and Joel, his brother, Gaff.
Oh, really?
Gaff Roll, my neighbor, Morgan, Elijah. So we kind of fit in ourselves in that.
So like an actual rock and roll band?
Nope, just the name.
just the name.
Just the name Rockheads.
Oh, okay. So about what?
We start calling them Rockheads after a while.
Okay. Didn't even know that about you guys.
From that now, few people getting to know us and things like partners in crime coming and practicing RSD band house, us having access to the band house and so on. We got to know people like Clint and Hayford and those kind of people. So they knew the potential. So when Raw Rhythm started, Hayford was like, okay, I know a youth man can feel that playing keyboards and whatever. And he's the one who approached me for Raw Rhythm. And then naturally, wherever I go, there, they're going to end up. So it just everything just falls through naturally.
I remember Toronto tour was a real instep. I remember for sure. It was a real instep, and
that's
I was
inside joke by there.
Yeah, that was a real nice tour. That was especially in Canada, hanging with my boy Yvonne, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
but more than that, though, getting to see you all's musical range at the time, because it wasn't just soca all he was playing, right? All he was banging reggae, all he could bang zouk. All you guys were really well versatile at that time. So to hear coming from that particular background, I'm really proud to even say, what? I feel I should have do more in the DJ business, man.
Yeah, a lot of advice, man. Canada was lifelong memories we always have. When you hear Imon's name, I mean, the next question you're going to ask about is the who band ever. I say never forget.
That's the man for that.
Yes, that's how, you know, it was definitely the vibes them time there, you know. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good to see you grow. You know, I have to admit, listen, even yourself
All
doing the
that, all
cultural
that,
gala. Yeah, man.
all that was good experience for us, good
Hmm.
exposure. You know, because we got the chance to perform on the island.
Yes.
You know, in that was in 2000, right?
Yes.
2001,
2001, so
around there. Yeah.
and we had the opportunity to meet some big artists as young boys, take over to ferry to move across to the island.
Right.
You know,
Nice.
we had the farm where we had
Yes.
with Swinging Stars and Mighty Sparrow.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
we had Roof Garden.
But
You
you
know,
remember Shop, man. You remember
yeah,
Shop, boy.
yeah, Ortiz, you know, so big up to Mr. Joey Powell and
Yes.
the crew that was making it happen at that time.
Nice.
Very important people.
Joe P. Dashin.
So, but before you guys came to Toronto, because I that was probably like what, the second album or third album by then, right?
Somewhere about there.
Yeah. So let's go back to 2000 when Raw Rhythm started. The songs that were coming out, like, were you guys involved in like the production as far as like creating the music for
Of
the
course.
album?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, heavily involved, but with the guidance of the more experienced musicians. So
Yes.
we were always technically the babies, but
Right.
then we always had the ideas.
Yeah.
So they fed off our creativity, but then they guided the process
Right.
in the way that they wanted it. So Rano, he wants his WCK song, quote unquote.
Right.
He would guide the process so that he gets something that he likes.
Right. Closest. Right.
With Roy, yeah, that's where the balance was. And then Hayford was, yeah, Hayford was, he was honest, yeah.
Yes.
He wouldn't make us do nonsense.
Yeah. Well, even for Hayford to you know, we had effects here and they were talking about the experience and like they said, Imoni, I remember they were terrible for a very long time. So I guess he probably, you know, after his experience learning,
You're right.
you know, I guess he wanted to
So
guide
we
you
didn't
guys.
have a chance to be terrible because
Right.
we were coming in. Our opening was the two top lead singers of the two top artists. So we
Of the
couldn't even
islands,
have
right.
time to
play
be
around.
horrible or to no.
Right.
We just had to start with a bang and start at the level.
And tell us, what was that experience like working with both Roy and Ra at a time when, you know, like you say, they were kind of prime, they were top in their game at the time, coming out of Dominica?
Boy, I come that funny.
For real.
Roy had a kind of a brotherhood, kind of a family vibe about it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
There are times where we would go at each other, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Because I am making a mistake on the drum, and he would find I should not make a mistake there.
Right.
Like, you know, but all that was for growth.
Right, of course.
You know,
Sure,
and
yes.
the shouting at each other, the cursing at each other was never like a fight. It was like more like a classroom.
Right.
Like you can do better.
You know, and yeah,
You don't take it personal.
no, you
just,
don't take it personal and just get
the
going.
experience, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Delhi. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying it toughened us up a bit too. So I mean, you'll be able to take something from the outside because you already get worse than that internally.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, sometimes, you know, the tough criticism within the group or family is never to be taken personal. You know what I mean? Like you guys said, it definitely builds. At the time, you know, you in your hotel, you check more that way, Mr. But you know, a year from now, 6 months from now, you sit down and you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad I went through that because now look at where I am, type of vibe, right?
Yeah.
So,
A little tough love, man. Never.
yeah, you know what I mean? So, but so Delhi, so you moved from being a drummer with Raw Rhythm,
Yeah.
and I guess after the Raw Rhythm, after you guys, well, after the band went separate ways, some guys ended up Triple K, and you guys ended up doing WCK.
Yeah.
You went from the drums to the vocals.
Yeah.
Yes.
My
Eat him with
brother,
it bubblies.
I remember that. Yeah, and I was like, what?
My partner, what you doing?
Yes, I.
What motivated the switch? The switch.
um, it's not even a switch. It's a package.
Mm,
Mm.
Because that is something that is naturally me, where I can actually play drums
and
and
sing.
sing at the same time.
Right.
You know, so when the opportunity came, Ra left. You know, Pelham came back from his studies,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and I had to make a little switch up.
Yeah.
So them fellas fine. You know what? You have a good vocalism. You can do it. You know, try it, no man. Let's try it.
But
Let's
Okay.
try.
but
I
but
try
the,
it because I find I like it, and I can do it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was surprised the first time I heard it. But didn't you sing on? You were singing before I left.
yeah,
Yeah, because there's a I can't remember the name of the album. I want to say One Boss or something like that.
yeah. The one was how one was. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, when you had that smash it up tune,
right,
right?
that
Right.
was
right,
cool.
right.
Nice.
Yeah. That is
So,
where
but mhm,
that's when the guys were really pushing me to go up front, and I was already up there for so long without an original song.
right,
So it's like, yo, you need to get something going. You need to get a track out. You need to do something. You know.
right,
So that's how it really happened. You know.
and that was the song.
Yeah, and that was it. You know. And up to 2 days.
I, I wouldn't touch on the song itself. We'll move away from the song itself.
That's not.
Was that?
So there's also scouts and scouts and my boys. So
Yeah. But before Buyo, you were I've seen a thing where you were doing reggae. You
yeah,
were doing so you're singing reggae as well, right?
yeah. We used to have a small reggae band. We used to do
Right.
a thing called Fisty Thursdays in Lally Coco down
Mm-hmm.
in Louvier.
Right.
Very cool. Cool.
You
Yes,
know,
I.
so I was on the drums,
Mm-hmm.
Max and Allen on the vocals,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Stila on the bass,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Chapa on the guitar, you know, and then Maxine and Maggie used to work alongside to manage different things. So we used to do Thursday Thursdays and every Thursday gig.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I do drums and vocals at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty tight. I remember the first time I actually well, not the first time I saw Raw Rhythm, but the first time I saw Raw Rhythm on tour, and you guys were in New York City. You guys were actually on the road in New York City,
yeah,
Labor Day,
yeah. The Eastern
and
Part.
yeah, for some reason that day, you on the drums is what sticks out in my head the most. For
Yeah,
some reason,
yeah.
yeah, I remember that parkway there, and yeah, for some reason, that's what sticks out in my head. But listen, I want to ask you. So, the transition from going from Raw Rhythm to CK, and Cornell having to leave, and you having to take that role, that
Mm-hmm.
was like that's a major role.
Yeah.
No, I know you did
No
the
pressure.
schooling.
No
I know
pressure.
you did the schooling and everything for that, but how did it feel having to, step in Cornell's role and say like, yeah, you the one actually leading everything now?
Um, Challenges. I don't know. I have always faced challenges. I
Right,
have, for some reason, always find myself replacing someone or something big and having big shoes to fill. So up to today, in my current position, is that when I started at cultural division, I was replacing. I became the cultural officer for music, replacing Pearl Christian. So that's big shoes to fill.
right,
Um, Even Creole Rendezvous, when Flo didn't do Creole in the back, I had to manage that event. So it's big shoes to fill, doing jazz and so on. So I've always had that, but that was one of the first times I actually had to step into something.
right,
And I think my approach for that, I kept that approach in everything else I did, like afterwards. So it wasn't a matter of coming in and trying to be the person or trying to emulate the person or trying to be the next whoever I'm replacing,
right.
but putting my own stamp on it. And I think that has worked for me.
Mm.
Um, I mean, you stick to a formula, you know what works. So
Right.
if it's replacing cornell, you know certain techniques, but you take it a step further and put your own stamp, your own influence on it.
Make it your own.
For sure.
Yeah, basically. So it's not trying to be the next cornell, but trying to be the first liquor man.
Yeah. The first thing about
No. I taking a vote, you know, the fans and them seeing this, you know, they have to burn a fire, send a hand clap, we changing Urson nickname to Mr. Big Man. You know how you're talking, you know, it's big man moves. No little man moves, some big man moves you're making there. You cultural. Anyway, let's continue going because we go and get to why Wilson is the big man later on for sure.
So, so making that transition, I guess everybody just kind of let you do your thing at this point, right?
I mean, with guidance.
Yeah, of course.
WCK has a sound, something that you expect to hear. So even if you have leeway to be creative, you still creative within certain parameters that you cannot really reveal. Yeah, because
so you have like a sandbox to work in.
Yeah. Apart from me being there, it still have to sound like WCK.
Yeah.
Right. But when you came in, the sound definitely changed.
Yeah.
You know. What's that?
That's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it wasn't a drop off. Like, you know, when you have a band like as a status of WCK, like, you know, it's up there, and you have people like, for instance, Skinny's gone, Rag's gone, Cornell gone. The band will change, right? But then sometimes you find in the instance where the band actually lose a little bit, but in that case it maintained, you know what I mean? And it even came back to where we're getting this type of sound where it was new, but it was old at the same time. And I got that authentic vibe to it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the norm what we were getting. Like, I don't really want to mention the other bands, but with the other bands on the island, it wasn't the norm. It was a different vibe. It wasn't a raw rhythm vibe. It was just a different vibe.
So it's just a different combination. And I think a lot of times when people speak, they don't give enough credit to the team, the whole, the combination. Sometimes you have a winning combination, and every little element, every little person, whatever input they have makes the whole. And not everybody likes to acknowledge that, but that's what a band is.
That is true.
So my time in WCK would not have been the same if Keith was in the basement.
Right.
Or if Pelham was, you know, so you get it's a team.
Yeah, different chemistry. It's like putting different seasoning to cook something, right?
Exactly.
It's a boy.
Yeah, true. And you know, just to touch back on what you say, about, you know, it's not like usually you get one person always get the credit, and usually the person that get the credit is the person in front, that, you know, the singer or whoever it is, right? But I have this mentality where sometimes to me the captain has the easiest job, you know, because the captain is just to steer the ship, right? Make sure we get there safe. But with those little components moving, that's doing all the hard work, there's nothing that you could guide, right? So I don't know. That's just the way I look at it. When I listen to people who talk about, you know, who created what and what created, anyway. So
we had enough of that conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's more wasting time.
Yeah. So you know what? We didn't get to congratulate you on your achievement, Erlson, on being a chief officer. What does that mean? Like the whole title, what does that mean? Like, what's your responsibility?
Okay, so acting, let me say that first, acting chief cultural officer.
You're still acting?
So that is the head of a department, basically, to manage the cultural division.
Right.
And dealing with all activities relating to culture. So anything to do with the promotion, preservation, and development of culture. And that is mostly through various art forms, such as music and dance and so on. But also culture is our way of life. So we're talking about food, what we eat, what we wear, from the national wear go down to anything contemporary. So it's a wide range of stuff that that would include festivals, training, exchanges, that I could go on and on and on and on.
Right. Wow.
Congrats, man. Congrats, Mr. Big Man. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, definitely coming to you live from Dominica right now.
And like I was saying to you earlier before we came on, like I'm not one that really was into cultural gala itself, unless your mother bring you them vibes, right, when we were kids. And like I said, you guys had my attention. I don't want to give you all the credit because I know you have a team. So
Right.
you guys definitely had our attention from jump. Even the commercials I enjoyed. Yeah, I'm being serious. It was
Yeah,
it
man.
was
Seriously.
the production level was the best I've ever seen out of Dominica. This is not to knock anybody. This is my truth. This is how I feel about it.
I want to go and put on my beige suit and my black tie, honestly. Seriously.
So, as you
Let-
mentioned, the team, we have a very young team at the cultural division,
Right.
and we work very well together. And everybody does what they have to do. Everybody pulls their weight. So, I mean, people like Giselle Hyacinth, Carlton Henry, Dorel, Tasha, Ordell, Aaron, Orlando, whoever I miss out. I hate to call names because I was missing out somebody. But
Right.
the kind of a team we have, you cannot not call names. I mean,
Right.
yeah, because everybody's a team effort. Just like coming back to the band thing, that's how I like to work.
Yeah.
Team effort, everybody gives their input and you have a good product.
That's true.
In terms of the production, I would say that was us taking advantage of the COVID situation because we had an opportunity to do everything pre-recorded and get it perfect. We don't know exactly what we want and do it, execute it in that way. So we had that opportunity. We had a chance to be creative and we took advantage of it.
Right.
Congrats, man. Big congrats. I know anybody taking in the program this evening would well agree. 110,000% represented Dominica very well. Very excellent. Couldn't ask for more, honestly. Big
We have
congrats.
something coming up for Christmas too, so stay tuned.
Oh, you got.
Oh,
Oh,
we,
okay, nice.
we doing cow food sauce for Christmas? What do you say? Oh,
Just
okay. I in that, you know.
uh,
The Kukalalu soup, I in that. Yeah, we in that.
well, let's cut their locks, man.
Yes, hi. I haven't spoken to you guys in so long. This is beautiful. I have to tell you. This is really nice, you know.
So we
Moving
definitely have something to
Sorry,
look forward to for Christmas time.
for Christmas, yeah.
All right, let's go back to the music a little bit. Well, not that we got away from it, but let's go back to the music aspect for a bit. In your creativity, as far as making your beats, and like I said earlier, a lot of the beats that you have, it has that authentic feel and sometimes that old school vibe to it. What inspires that? Where do you get, like, do you listen to like a lot of old folk music, or what is it? What is it about Ilson that comes out kind of all that makes it sound so different?
The inspiration hits differently sometimes. Sometimes you work within a formula. So you
Right.
know you have that and that and that is proven.
Mhm.
If you want to get that result, you go with that. But sometimes you get creative and it's when the two come together, that is when you really see the magic. When you
Right.
get to be creative but still stay within, what works.
Guidelines. Right.
Yeah. It's not every time it'll be successful, but it's a good vibes when you get it right.
Right.
So yeah.
That's why sometimes you want some changing 3-4 times.
Yes.
In the studio, you come
Yep.
here one way today, you come tomorrow, you hear something different. You come tomorrow, it's totally different.
Right.
Nice.
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 But
Different
yeah,
inspiration.
yeah, we had a conversation like that last week Saturday,
Yeah.
where you don't just do one thing one time. You take your time and you go through the
Yeah,
process, right?
I have songs sitting there for years, and it's
Right.
just waiting for the right time, knowing that we got it right and be satisfied with it and we put it out.
Right.
It happens that way too. Sometimes you get it in a night and you just know
Yes.
that works. But sometimes it might sit down there for a few years, you revisit it, you hear it after some time and you find you like it. Oh, why we didn't put that out? And you just
Yeah.
do tweaks and the creative process never really have a set. Sometimes it hits you from all angles. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, because music is generally a feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's some form of vibration. So
Yeah, from
Alright.
within. So that's why they call it like intellectual property. It's like
Understood.
it's from within, from the mind, from everything. So
right.
yeah.
And
Understood.
speaking about inspiration, let me jump somewhere because I'm in Delhi. You have your little brother that just causing havoc right now with some controversy kind of a vibes. Um, will we I know I said it's an inspiration, but will we ever see like a brother combination with you and your brother Shelly? Is that something we can look forward to in the future?
Novelist taking my
Is that
question
is
book,
that
you
is
know,
that a tough
folks.
question?
You see two smiles as you ask that question, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you just leave it at two smiles? Just leave
Can we
it.
leave it at two smiles?
Leave it at that. All right.
Leave it at two smiles.
That works
Two
for me.
smiles, two
That,
smiles and a Coca-Cola. Yes, sir. Go and take a
that,
one now.
so
I
so
feel it good.
basically
When it happens, you'll get back to me.
So we'll be having you back once it happens for sure.
Right.
Yes.
No problem.
All right.
Yes,
No
so
problem.
definitely.
No problem.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
Bro, that is blood. And yeah.
You must feel a certain sense of pride though, Delhi, to have your younger brother come out on the scene, especially the way he has. And it's without recognition that we say that even ourselves, touring as Island Therapy in New York, we were supposed to be on a show with him. He didn't make it, but I have followed his exploits quite closely, and I have to say he's another one that Dominicans are really watching them, and we're really proud of what they're doing and what they're keeping
Yeah,
up.
and I'm really proud of him too as my little brother. And I don't like the word little as my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just dealing with big man on this show for this
Big man
segment. Yeah,
now, you
your
know?
big man thing. Yes.
So Shelly came from watching me doing that thing, and he got interested in that, and he decided, yo, I'm gonna do that, and he's in full 100, and I'm proud of him. I love the way he's doing his music. I love his lyrical content. You know, I love his ideas, and there's nothing I have to say to him as my brother when it comes to music.
Right.
Understood.
So he's good to the
Good to
world.
go.
Delhi says no longer his little brother and whatever, but he will forever be my student at SMB. That is Delhi business. He will forever be my student at SMB, and
Yes, sir.
I like to call him my little brother.
Yes, sir.
big man now, but I will, and he always give me the credit for being the first person to take him into the studio and so on, because he was in school choir and all those kind of things, Calypso, Junior Monarch.
Yep.
So myself, along with the other SMP teachers like Pasco and the rest of them, really worked with him. Miss Samuel used to write his songs for him and so on.
Yeah.
And from that time, he had the interest and he never let it go.
Yeah.
So proud of that. The same way we talk about the RSB and those who came before us,
Right.
I feel that is our role to them.
Yes, pass it down.
Yeah.
Of course.
No. That is so. Let me share an experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was Carnival in St. Thomas once. When is Carnival in St. Thomas? In
April or something?
April, yeah.
Right.
And Triple K and WCK was in St. Thomas to perform. Right? So our dad was in the crowd. Right now he's gone. Rest in peace, Daddy. Already.
Yeah.
And while Triple K was on the stage performing, Daddy is in the crowd crying, you know.
Seriously.
I said, Daddy, what happened to you? Why are you crying? It's my partner. I watching partner on the stage there, and it's UIC on the stage there. I tell him, yes, man, Daddy, is it?
Wow, that's good, man.
That's good, man. That's really good vibes.
And after the performance was our performance.
Yes.
You know, so Daddy was really feeling that joy to see his two youth man mashing up St. Thomas. You know,
Nice.
and that's nice vibes.
So you see, all you have to work in for all your father's sake, all you have to do something. So next year,
like that.
Don't worry, we get Shelly on the show just now.
We call the show Dissect, you know. We're just here to talk and get into the vibes. You understand?
You hear that song in there? Delhi and Shelly. Shelly and Delhi.
Yeah. according to Kaza knew with the Broadley brothers, right, Kaza?
Yes, yeah, you know. But beyond Shelly, before Novelist can continue, what do we expect from you two musically moving forward? And do you have anything presently in the works coming up for either Carnival or after? Because music is all year round, right?
Yeah, of course. And the two of us, I mean, we always work together. I don't think that's a question. I mean, we know that. For me, on a personal level, I've been dealing with studies, which I have just completed like yesterday.
Yes,
So,
sir. Congrats, man.
Thanks. So I plan to get back to music. Like seriously, like for the past 2 years, I haven't been doing much. I just have to be focused on one thing and the studies. But yeah, I plan to make next year my return. I don't want to say return, but to get back to doing what I love, to get back to being me, basically.
More consistent.
All that studies, that was, I mean, I had to do it, but that wasn't me from within. But I want to get back to doing what I love.
Yeah.
And I think if all goes well, next year will be that year.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
I would brush him that promise during the independence season, and he put it on his phone. So he say, if he catch me sleeping, he's going to remind me. He's just going to send me the dates.
And I
think that next year getting back to music. So yeah.
I think I'll follow Brushed thing trend. Yeah.
As you mentioned, Brushed, our last project was with
Triple K. Right.
Well, actually, Benji and
Killer.
Kendi. Well, yeah, Triple K. You know, the Dominican China friendship rhythm. The rhythm for me.
That was something nice. That was something nice to see. Who came up with that? Because that was just beautiful to see.
Before I give you the whole story, that is something that should have happened
years ago.
40 years
in
ago.
our days as WCP and Triple K. I mean, we made 2 attempts and it didn't happen. But they say nothing happened before its time. So
true.
When it happened and it was good. And we came to we did what we had to do. But then they can give you the details as to where we meet, what we do, or whatever. But it's something that we've been talking about for years.
All right.
When I go to my partner, well, the way it is there, man and them just bounce up.
You just bounce up and you make it work, right? I agree, man. You know, for sure. But we need more of that. Need more of that in the industry.
What really happened was, it was when I went liming. Liming. And we ended up in Grand Four.
Okay.
We met Kendall in Grand Four. And my partner Shaq, he's a keyboardist from Grand Four. They had that band, Virtual Band, in Grand Four.
Okay.
And he's a good keyboardist. He had his stuff, and he had a little setup by the road. You know, the man is going to free up holiday weekend.
Right.
So, in talking, I tell him, man, bus, look at keyboard there, look at the thing, let's go and play some music, bus. So, the person was like, yeah, let's go and play some music. And then say, yes, boy, let's go and play some music. And then I shove a song.
Yeah.
So I pushed them, I teased them until something came up.
Right.
And then it entered in the little man head.
Yeah.
And then in the studio. And then link up and work it out. And that was simple.
Nice. Nice.
Simple as that. Simple as 1, 2, 3. Now, what was good and surprising to the fans, because there was that thing where whenever it's carnival, we used to have a type of beef. I call it a type of beef because it was nothing physical.
Right.
So we used to go back and forth, drop our little words to each other. You know, Benji would tell me, don't worry, I'll catch you, though. I'll get you on the road. I can go you morning waiting for you.
Yeah.
So people used to think we had that kind of a beef, especially the younger musicians.
Right.
So when that came around, it was like an open eye, you know, to get them to understand it's not a beef. It's a music
thing. Yes.
You know, it's music, because they thought we had that beef. Triple K and WCK have that beef.
Right.
They thought, no, Benji not talking to Daly, Daly not talking to Benji, Kendall not talking to Wilson, Lickerman not talking to Killer.
Right.
So that's by itself smoothen up the whole issue.
Right.
And it brought some growth to everybody too, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So us working together was a very good experience. And I think we need more of that instead of wasting time speaking of who started and where it started.
Yes, yes, facts,
You know, we need
facts.
to do more of that to get it to grow, to get it to make it move.
Right.
You know, so if Deli and Benji, Kendall and Little Man, I'm not sure, or I should say, I don't know why there is a problem where there cannot be Hunter and Deli and Cornell and Little Man,
True.
you know, because that is to make it move,
Yeah, most
you know?
definitely.
Yeah,
Again, we're talking about, the little components working to move the big unit, right? And
yeah,
if everybody, and that includes, no, we're talking Booyah, but I'm glad you mentioned Hunter, because when we look at the culture itself, it's not just Booyah music. We have Kadas music as well. We have, Kaiso, even though it's a Caribbean thing, I mean, we run that, like, hands down, we run that.
right,
So, I mean, I don't see why everybody's not working with each other.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
What
just
I would
help.
love to see, novelists, what I would really, really love to see is us traveling the world together with a
Right.
Dominica package.
Yes. Yes.
Everything in there, everything on there is Dominica,
Right.
right? So we go out there, we meet the Jamaicans, we meet the Trinidadians, we meet the Haitians, we meet the Africans, but we come in with that force, the same force they come with
Right.
to showcase what we have. Because remember, what we have is new to the world. It's old to us,
Mm-hmm.
but it's new to the world.
That's right.
Yes. And the world is
So
always looking for something new.
if we continue the way we are going now or have been going,
Mm-hmm.
the 40 years we just waste, we're going to start wasting it again from this year to the next 40 years.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
But we had that. Won't you agree? We had that connection back in the day, though, when you had, like, I mean, maybe they all did not get along, but you had the RSB, the Serenade, the WCK, the Swinging Stars going out together, including the Calypsonians too.
Yes, but something didn't happen.
Well, a lot of things didn't happen, and a lot of things happened.
Yeah, a lot of things, something didn't happen, and it caused a lot of things to happen.
Right.
Oh, you confused me there, man.
What? Well,
But I get exact. I
no,
get it, man. I just really
it's nothing. It's nothing really to be confused. I get exactly what Deli is saying.
Yeah.
It in my plain English, I'll put it that way. It happened that we all went outside there, but it happened that in a let's say 10 of us, two get greedy, and then the fact when the two get greedy, it creates a domino effect to the rest of us, to the 8 of us. So now everything start falling apart. Well, I'm not working with Mister because Mister that, and I'm doing this because that creates
Yeah, that's
friction,
that's part of it. In some
right?
cases, the business part of the music industry, we didn't really handle very well. So I hope we're learning from those mistakes as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
But personality clashes can be blamed for a lot of our shortcomings
Right.
in terms of where Dominican music should be.
Right.
And I mean, we can only continue to try.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So speaking about where our music is to be, in I want to say 3, maybe 4 years ago, a Booyah song hit the airwave. Well, Booyah beat hit the airwave with soca artists on it.
Mhm.
How did you guys feel when you heard that? And like, looking back on it, do you think we as Dominicans handled the whole situation right?
Um, Collaboration is important. Collaboration is key when you
Right.
want to penetrate markets and so on. So if you know the Trinidadians have a big market, and you know for you to make the kind of headway you want to do to prove to perform at the shows you want to perform, you have to penetrate that market. Of course, collaboration is essential.
Facts.
What I feel that we didn't capitalize on is yes, it happened, and it's not a new thing. We were doing collaborations before. We did Skinny Fabulous did Red Button on the
Right.
767 beat. So it wasn't a new thing.
Right.
But it was a big thing, and yes, the producer got his accolades and so on, but I am not sure that any artist can say they benefited or from that process,
Right.
which is not, it is not the producer's obligation to get artists on the thing, because the promoter still, the producers are still producing for other artists down that side.
True.
But we have to understand where the artists down there coming from, and we have to use, I don't want to say use them in a bad way, but to get that platform, you have to work together with them.
Yeah, of course.
So they know what they want, they see what they want, but we know what we want as well.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with they performing on Dominican rhythms, that's fine. But then we have to look at which Dominican artists are they opening the doors for.
Right.
I think we lack in that sense. Like until today, I don't think any, correct me if I'm wrong, but any artist burst on that level, that the rhythm itself from the producer, that step that it made, I don't think any artist caught up to that, where you will find Marshall is doing something with a Benji or something like that.
Right.
Up to today. I think they
Yeah.
approached them once, and I think the figure they fraud was like a leave me alone kind of figure.
Oh wow.
So they know what they want, they know what they need. They
Right.
will come here and they will do interviews and they will say the right things. They will say yes,
course.
collaboration, whatever. But then you walk in with so much money, you have to say that.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So hopefully, I mean, I would like to see that it gets to the level where our artists are making headway with those kind of collaborations.
Right.
Makes sense. I like to hear that for sure.
At that point, guys, I was like, yes, finally the door opened.
Yes. I thought so too myself.
And we had that opportunity to use that opportunity to work, maybe not Marshall, but some other artists.
Somebody outside there.
Yes.
Yes.
To get it going, to get it moving, because the door was wide open for us. The Bouillon, that name Bouillon was pitching out of the world, in the world, like wildfire, because the beat is not soca.
Nope.
And the fans will always ask a question: what is that beat? Where it came from?
Yeah.
And Marshall not going to hide and lie and say that's a Trini thing. Marshall will always say that's a Dominican
thing. Yes.
That's the kind of man he is.
Yes.
You know, so honestly, to be straightforward, I think that opportunity passes straight.
And the thing is, it served its purpose, but it served the purpose for them. It didn't serve our purpose.
Yeah.
So Marshall got what he had to get from the times that he used Dominican content, I should say, in terms of the culture, in terms of the other one. It's his purpose for him. He got he got whatever. But it served the purpose for the producer. He's getting his calls, he's producing for big artists. But for the movement on a whole, we probably didn't capitalize on it fully.
No. And that's why I like Deli said that the opportunity passed us, and I don't think it has. I mean, the door has closed a little bit, but I don't think it's fully closed. The reason why I say that is, even before Family, there's another artist in Trinidad, the Gallon. He have this type of booyah-ish thing to his soca as well, right? There's other producers, and I know from Dominica, that actually produce for Barbados and Trinidad and those places, right? What I find happened after Famalele was you had people like Moto who grabbed the balance bati. So they're still grabbing. My whole thing is that they know that the world is looking for
Just
a
give
new
me
sound,
2 minutes, baby.
and they're gonna give the world that new sound. What I think we need to do as artists from Dominica is, hey, maybe we cannot afford a Marshall Montano, but maybe we could get one of a voice or somebody that's just coming up to feature with them as well. And I mean, using our Booyah sound, because since you like it so much, why don't I just invite you on a song with me?
But
So I
even
don't
with
think.
the motto, even with the motto thing you just mentioned,
Mhm.
I mean, that could have been that, or that was another opportunity where Delhi could have been on a song on that
True.
rhythm that
True.
starts with his voice anyway.
True. Yeah.
I mean,
Ooh.
it's a lot of, and then in those cases, they actually came to management of WCP and got permission to use those things. So it's just a matter of thinking, hey, if you come into me for that, what am I getting from it?
Right.
Thinking of the bigger picture, and I think again that was an opportunity lost. I
Yes.
think there was another one that they have some contention for as well. That's
There was the I want to say what's the name of that? I don't know why Musicano is not the right name, but Porteno, that Colteno song that CK had, they used that as well too. Boy, Colteno.
Yeah. Remember
Right.
the beat
So
pattern.
we only seeing like what's in front of us, and we're not seeing the bigger picture. So
Right.
yes, they use certain things. They did get permission. Whether the permission was from the right person or not is for lawyers to deal with.
Right.
But we didn't really think of what's in it for us. For your name being in the credits is probably not enough. Getting paid on a one-off might not be enough. But if you're thinking of our music going further, you have to think a little bigger than just those little trivial things. Check?
Right.
Understood. Understood.
Yep. And I think we have a weapon working for us and against us, especially here in Dominica with the social media thing, because we, for some reason, we seem to forget that the people that will or might want to work with us following up on the social media.
That is true.
So when Marshall do
Paying
a song,
attention.
when Marshall do a song with Dada, and it released as the biggest thing for the time, and we on social media by talking it in Dominica terms, they know,
Of course.
and that is working against us.
Yes.
So here we are fighting amongst ourselves for something that is not our own, and we have our own. They use it now, and we vex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to laugh, but
No,
that's a very
it's
astute
facts.
way. It's a very
It is
astute way
facts.
to sum it up for sure.
We're
It is
wasting
facts.
time, each and every one of us in Dominica, in the music business, in politics, tourism, culture have a better stand now, I believe, wasting time and spending time doing the wrong things.
And then a lot of times they would just look from the outside and say, boy, you know what? I don't really want to be part of that mess. So as much as they want it, they will find a way around it.
Yeah.
And not want to deal with the little politics of it in terms of who have rights to this and who own that and who whatever and who fighting and who on social media throwing talk and them kind of thing. They don't really want to be part of that.
No.
So they will find a way to get what they want. They will still get what they want.
And stay out of our
Still get the mileage from it and stay out of our talala, as Denny said.
Yeah. So that is what the social media working for us, where they can see and hear,
Right.
they can purchase, and it working against us where they will stay away from us.
Because they see all the
because they're seeing what we're doing, they're seeing the way we're speaking, they're seeing the way we're dealing with each other, they're seeing the way we deal with each other. Now, if Trinidad wants skinny bantan, somebody in Dominica is going to say to that promoter in Trinidad, skinny does walk in Pottersville without shit.
That's sad though.
If Trinidad won Delhi, they will tell that promoter, I will come to Trinidad and I will have a glass in my hand.
Yeah.
Not thinking of what is going to happen or what might happen for Dominica.
The bigger picture.
Not Delhi.
Yeah, but the
Not
whole
Delhi.
island.
Dominica.
Yeah.
Bigger
Tourism
picture.
is our business. What is tourism without music, entertainment?
True.
What are we doing? Watching my
Really
shoes.
good points. Some really good points.
Yep.
Watching my shoes. Watching my van.
Right. You should put that in a song.
I was gonna ask if there is a piece you giving us from Delhi and Shelley, but I'll leave that alone. we'll wait. We'll wait.
Spending that time, Elson, Cornell,
Kendall, yeah.
Norman, singing stars keyboardist, Peter later. Sit down, preparing something for Trinidad preparing for Dominica, and then we head to North America.
Right.
I don't know what's wrong, but something's definitely wrong.
Regional integration, they're always talking about that. But all them concept there is just theories. I mean, people throw that around in speeches and
right.
Then you have your own little internal nonsense. So we try to move forward, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
We're making steps, right?
Well, it's plenty crying. We know what the problems are. It's just a matter of doing better.
Yes.
But
we have to because we cannot make 40 years pass again.
Yeah.
Understood.
But I do see some changes. It's not major, but coming from the 80s, 90s to where we are now, in the 80s and 90s, I don't remember anybody collabing with each other. Maybe Hunter did a thing with Serenade in the mid 90s or something, but I definitely see the change where this generation, they working more together but being criticized for what they do, right? As far as them being criticized what they do, I don't see how you could criticize people when you didn't teach them anything. But I definitely see a change in the wave, and hopefully it's for the good. Hopefully they keep it up and they all do better. And because every island, as far as everybody I've spoken to, is they come to Dominica and they take something and go.
Take something and go. Of course.
Everybody takes something and go.
They go to the sulfur spring and they leave with one stone.
Yeah. The next thing you know, you have no more stones.
That's what we need to do, guys. That's what I believe we need to do.
Right.
Like Iman would strengthen my point on that. As the Rastafarians would say, we have to organize and centralize.
That is key to anything.
Whatever is coming from Dominica, it have its background, it this and it that, but let's prepare it and showcase it to the world properly because it's our own.
Right.
Yes.
Do we have a hand clap? Did we get the hand clap sound effect yet, Novelist?
No, you
we got to work on that for the next show, we need the hand clap sound effect. Okay, I get the hand clap sound effect.
It's a deeper process when you're talking about your product and getting it export ready and all that kind of thing. It takes a lot of work in the background and a lot of work before it gets to the end product. So yes, we're going to need training. People are going to need to write better. People are going to need to produce on a musical standard that's competitive out there. You're going to need that.
Right.
But balance is important because sometimes it's the simplest thing that a trained musician might not value, but that might be what makes the hit. So it's finding a balance between doing things the structured way, but then not losing sight of creativity.
Right.
Once we can conquer that and get past our personalities and our egos and so on, we can do what we have to do.
Right.
True. So since you touched on that, it's almost time for us to go. But talking about the writing part of the music, do you feel like the writing itself is a problem? Like, do you think we can do better and you could always improve? But do you think that is the problem? That's like one of the major problems is the lyrical content.
Lyrical content, I don't want to say it's a problem. We deal in it for a generation, and that's what works for them. Right. So I am not going to tell somebody who is seeing success, whether it's on a local level or not. If you're seeing success and your event's packed on a Friday night, I'm not going to tell you change your style and I'm not coming to watch you perform. They're going to satisfy their audience. I understand that. I respect that. In terms of the content itself, what we can do is guide. tell them what works, tell them what wouldn't work outside there. Do what you do, but have something when you're ready to perform on an international level.
Right.
And once we can understand that, once we can have that understanding that something is for home, something is for outside, it might be the home thing that still end up losing outside, but you have options.
Right.
And the lyrical content, I mean, the most we can do is guide or try to guide.
Right.
Yes, because every artist have a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and most of us sing from what we feel, from what we believe.
True.
Sometimes it may not come out through the mic, but it might come from the body language. You know, so if I sing a gospel now, if I do a gospel now, some people will be like, wow, Daily changing his life. That is good.
True.
Some people will be like, Daily is trying to make a mockery of God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then the people that is saying, I want to be a mockery, or I'm making a mockery out of God, they never come to see me perform.
Right. That's true.
The other people that is saying, I'm making a change in my life, or I've made a change in my life, they will meet me and tell me, Daily, that is good, I see you trying to make a change in my life, but it's still funny to them.
Right.
Because of my
Who you
roots.
are. Yeah.
You know, if you check out Vibes Cartel, check out Movado,
Right.
check out Busy Signal. They're all on the same mission, but different vibes.
Different paths, right? Yeah.
And I think that is where our problem is. We kind of have a little issue in accepting artists for what they are.
Right.
You check? Because anybody can sing a boom boom tune. But then if I sing a boom boom tune and the way I push out that boom boom tune, people will feel like Daily boom boom tune need to be banned on the radio because that boom boom thing too raw.
Yeah.
There are 12,000 other boom boom tunes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. True.
Yeah.
True.
But it's just my vibe.
Yeah. You hit that on the head.
Music is music.
Yep.
Music is music.
Yep.
Some of us say, listen to a song and we say that's not good. But somebody else like it.
True.
Facts.
But then just to take that a step further, they will still accept the same one they say that not good from somebody outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just having an appreciation for what we have as well.
For what you have, exactly.
We have to do that.
You know, not to drag it too much, but I remember as a child going to Newtown Primary School. I left Dominica after primary school. So I was going to Newtown Primary School. I used to listen to Ted Daly and everything every day. There was few songs from one particular artist that was on DBS. It had one they called Bayo Lolo, and then there was a remix to it. It's not clicking in the head right now, but it's the same Lolo vibes. Then you had bands like Serenade that would, say what they had to say. But then I found when it came to the generation in the booyah music now, they were hard on them. For instance, Triple K would sing a song like Debris, or even Put Up Your Leg, Let Me Work You, and then that creates a problem. And you figure about why. If I'm going to primary school and I can listen to a song, and Dominica is a Creole speaking place, so it's not like we're not understanding what the song is saying. Right? As kids, the song is telling you about Lolo is doing this and Lolo is doing that, like, you know what I mean? But then we get an English version that hey, put up your leg, let me work you, and that creates a big problem. So I get what you're saying, Deli. Like, the problem is not really the song, but the problem is the person who sings the song.
A lot of times.
And the way they look at the person.
Yeah.
They will they figure, oh, they know you. personally, well, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, a big man like you,
Yeah.
you have two children that you come in there and do, but they don't understand that's the way I feed the children.
Right. Exactly.
Now, if they accept it as music instead of minding my business, straight up with Dissect today.
We dissected. That's what we have to do. Dissect.
I
Cut
might
it
lie
open,
to
wide
the boy.
open.
I didn't bring the fire this week, man.
Accept
Hey.
it as music
Right.
instead of minding my business, my character, and what I do with my life. We will move.
Facts.
Because there's a little country called Guadeloupe, 2.5 hours away from us. They don't respect the artists. When they see you, they greet you, hello, hello, hello. But your music,
that's it.
They respect that.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Of
I
course.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Of course.
So there is no artist in Guadeloupe feeling or thinking like I'm the biggest artist or I big and you small.
Yeah. Yeah. It's music. It's just vibe.
So when you do something, let's ask them have your music. They produce your music. You're on the same level as Admiralty.
Nice.
You're on the same level as Casa.
Right.
You know, so I think that is where we have a little issue. We're not focusing on what we have to do.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to the lyrical content, because my boy, you cannot tell a man what to sing. You cannot tell a man what to push out. You're not in the man.
Yeah. True. Yeah, you know these feelings exactly.
You would like to hear him say. You would prefer to hear him say
something you like.
I don't like that person than I hate that person.
Right. Right.
What deep that person, the vibe feel to come out. I hate
that person. Yeah.
And we have to learn to respect that kind of a vibe.
Facts.
So we have some small artists. We have a young artist. I think he's 9 years old now. A couple of months back, he was on big stage and thing dropping because I like course they grudging me.
Right.
He's 9 years old.
9 years old. Wow.
And God knows which one of us he see first doing it.
Right.
And get interested in it.
Right.
Reality.
Now that little youth, if we don't push him, we're going to waste him.
Of course.
Agreed.
I like how you said that.
Let's finish with that. Thank you.
Yeah, I like how you said that. I actually was going to finish on that. So December, listen, we're looking forward to another show in December, right?
We're looking at doing a Christmas production.
Yeah.
Something more family oriented.
Right.
To catch that Christmas vibes. Because people don't really see Christmas as something cultural. When you think cultural, you think independence.
Right.
True. Christmas has a cultural aspect to it. And like I said, culture is way of life.
Yes,
so when you think Christmas, you think of the music, you think of the food associated with Christmas, the drinks, you think of people cleaning, curtains changing, tablecloth, and that just changing your whole mood.
Yes,
and indeed. That Christmas vibe. So we're looking to highlight Christmas traditions a little more this year. And the culmination of that, I should say, will be a production. Right. So you'll hear a little more about that as the weeks go by.
Okay, nice. So definitely something to look, and that would be around what, Christmas Day, the day before?
Yeah, I'm premiering it on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. All right. So definitely look out for that. And I'm gonna thank you guys for joining us. It was very interesting. As usual, dissecting and learning right here on TDN TV Islands Therapy.
So much more we could talk about, but
the time, and you guys are always welcome. I mean, on the program anytime, even when you come back. So definitely, and I mean, this is what this is about. It's for the culture. It's for us. It's not to say, boy, it's not about me. To be honest, you know what I mean. So you guys are more than welcome to come back here and join us anytime. All right.
Sure. So we'll link up on that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Plenty love, fellas. Big up Dominic.
Respect, brothers.
100.
One love. Genfield represent. Yes, I.
Plenty love. Yeah, man.
I just want you to know that I can't just let you go. You're the reason that I'm in life, the reason that I'm still alive. Girl, you got my heart inside your hands. You just don't know how to control it. Baby, you're the only one that I want. Since then I met you, I start stopping who I was before, 'cause I finally find the one I want. You're so special to me. I think I got everything I need. Every day when I wake up, you're the only one I think about. I just came here to let you know, baby, that I could live without everything, but you're the one that I couldn't live without. I just came here to let you know, baby, that I could live without everything, but you're the one that I couldn't live without. There is no words that I can find to explain how good you make me feel with every day that I spend with you. Girl, you're just the best I never had. I swear you mean the world to me. Baby, how can I prove it to you that you are my life? If you didn't exist, babe, I just don't know what I would become. 'Cause you're the reason that I'm still breathing in life, girl. You're my world, you're my soul. You and I, we are the best forever. I just came here to let you know, baby, that I could live without everything, but you're the one that I couldn't live without. I just came here to let you know, baby, that I could live without everything, but you're the one that I couldn't live without. I just can't live without you. 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 I just came here to let you know, baby, that I could live without everything, but you're the one that I couldn't live without. I just came to let you know, baby, that I could live without everything, but you're the one that I couldn't live without.
Good evening, Sharon. Good evening, Obal. Uh, uh, I'm, I didn't hear either of you guys. So let's just,
Good evening, Anthony.
Yeah, good evening, Anthony.
all right, so this is loud and clear. I'm really excited about the conversation that we're going to have tonight because bullying is something that is ever so present in our world today. We have it